Right on. Okay.
I'm going live. It's happening.
Okay.
It's loading. Just give it a sec. There's
The
a process
sec is
here.
given.
I think it's on. Is this thing on? Is this on? Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
All right.
Hi.
So, this is an unusual episode. I normally don't do guests, and now I've got two, right? So things are going to get really bad really soon because we're entering unprecedented territory. So this is the Above It All show. No intro today. Maybe I'll do an outro. 16:49. I work 8 days a week. So we're doing the second show for today. So it's 8 days a week, and so I'm defying the logic of time. We have two people here. We've got Jeffrey Campbell working on like a Bernie 9/11 thing going on. I don't know what that is. And we've got Disco Brian with a magical hand popping out of nowhere. And I'm not sure what's going on with that either. Repping a Nina Turner shirt. I am just wearing a regular shirt. I didn't know that we had like a shirt choreography going.
Turner, who he doesn't like, but okay.
Well, Nina Turner is unliked by Disco Brian. Apparently, the first accusation has been levied. But before we get into this, I just want to say my position is I respect both of you people, and I know that might be impossible to fathom from both of you. You're both thinking to yourself, "This stupid fucking whore," right? I understand that. But so my goal with this stream, my ideal. Is that we figure out what the problems are, and I don't know if that can happen in one 45-minute therapy session, but I'm going to try. I'm
willing to stay, Geoff. If you're willing to stay, I'm willing to stay because can I just say I'm interrupting, but all I want to say is I would love for at the end of this experience to be in Geoff's good graces and for Geoff to be in mine. Not that I'm important. I don't have 19,000 followers on Twitter. Geoff does. He's more important than me.
That's true. I don't have 19K either.
So, what I want to do is like unify the left and liberal coalition to defeat fascism in 2022. And I'm sure Geoff wants to do that too, as he's made clear repeatedly. So, let's do it, baby. And let's get over this beef we have. And we can only do that if we address the problem. So go ahead.
You want to defeat fascism by accusing people of being Russian cyber colonists.
All right, so we're starting off on the first subject.
But wait, before we go, before we start, I have just one thing I want to say. While we do this, I would love it if Brian can refrain from doing these 5 things. 1, assigning guilt by association.
I'm not going to guarantee that.
2,
can I just say, Geoff? I'm not going to guarantee that I can do that because guilt by association is a logical fallacy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Up until, right, your associations are fascists. Then when
cool. We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, I'm just asking you if your associations
I don't have
are
any
fascists. No, not you.
Hypothetically,
I'm not saying you. But I'm saying public figures that have historically been on the left, like let's say, for instance, David Sirota, right? Who's historically, he's been Bernie's speechwriter, worked on both campaigns, and now he's partnering with, Tucker protege.
Wait, we didn't get to the 5. We didn't get to the 5, Brian. Wait, let me finish.
So I will do that if the accused not embracing and partnering with fascists. So go ahead.
Okay. Cool. 2, no virtual signaling via performative denunciation.
Virtual signaling? Is that like...
That was a lot.
Virtue signaling.
Because I was signaling there.
So virtue signal...
No virtue signaling.
Okay.
3, please refrain from being extremely cringe.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that one. That's going to be the hard one for me.
Does
this apply to me? Am I exempt?
Yeah, you're exempt. You're exempt.
You can be cringe, Andrea.
You can be cringe. 4, you cannot pretend people's normal reaction to your off-putting nature is bullying. That's 4.
Am I swearing an oath or something?
Okay, and five, and then you can, and then it's all yours. You cannot be picking a human shield to hide behind under the pretense of your idolization of that individual.
Like my wife, my wife who is as Jewish as you are and doesn't understand your smears that I'm an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist. She's like basically my only idol. But
you idolize your wife, okay?
I do.
That's a good thing.
She's not.
What's that?
That's fine. You can try to bring in your wife if you'd like to use her as a shield as well. If you'd like to use her. If you'd like to be able to attack a Jewish person by saying you're married to a Jewish person, you could try to do that if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay.
So all right. Now that we've already started, we've got a list of 5 things that I can do, but Brian can't do. So that's actually very good.
We'll see how long he can go. All right. So I want to start off with talking about the Russian cyber colony. I think this is the most pertinent. How do you pronounce that word? Pertinent. I don't know. It is something that is important to discuss. So to my understanding, the allegations against Geoff is that he has 20,000 Twitter followers. I don't know if that's true. Do you have 20,000 or is it? I heard 19,000 earlier. I'm not sure. I mean, do we want to get into specifics?
Yes, I need to know. Like, you know how to abbreviate the K, right? I need to know the exact amount of followers. But you are a member of either willingly or wittingly or unwittingly of a cyber colony that influences the discourse in Twitter left spaces. And so either you are being paid by Russia or you are just doing Russia's dirty work without payment. Now, as far as this allegation is concerned, Geoff, is that true? Yes or no? And then we'll get to Brian.
No, that is not true. That is absolutely false.
Okay, so Brian, what did I summarize that correctly? Would you like to have a few amendments on that?
I would like to say that up until recently, and I'm going to look at the time, and I'm going to keep this under 2 minutes, okay?
Go for it.
Can you time me in? Thank you. I only recently saw Timothy Snyder Speaks, the lecture on YouTube, where he talks about Cyber Colony USA, okay? What he says a cyber colony is, which is what gave us Trump, is a network of trolls or bots on social media that, through intimidation or incentivization, control a climate of opinion, okay? Now, Timothy Snyder is, like me, lucky enough to be married to an amazing Jewish woman who also teaches at Yale, and her specialization is in Marxism and, anti-Semitism in Eastern Europe and all over Europe, actually. That's like him. They are a power team of experts on fascism, anti-Semitism, 21st century fascism, and the problems with Marxism, right? That it's not this utopian dream that folks like David Griscom and Ben Burgess pretend it is. Whenever they're peddling Marxist-Leninism, right? It's replete with nightmare, terror, right? In its execution, right? Lenin, Stalin, Mao, those are not, I don't know about Geoff, but that's not the kind of future I'm hoping we manifest in America. So, cyber colony is real, right? It's not a Jewish, anything Timothy Snyder talks about, who's an expert on anti-Semitism and chairs the Committee of Conscience at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. He never says cyber colonies are a myth that are anti-Semitic in their nature by those who...
Okay, but that's not what anybody's claimed, dude. The reason that you got called anti-Semitic is because you are continuing to spread the idea that I control thousands of people online and that I am nefariously working behind the scenes to trick and fool people into believing whatever I believe, and supposedly that's whatever Russia wants me to, put out there, according to you. So that's what's anti-Semitic, not the theory of cyber colonies or whatever Timothy Snyder spoke about, which I watched. And by the way, Timothy Snyder actually said that, people should get out into the third dimensional world, and I think that's something you should probably do, Brian.
Oh, I do it all the time. So thank you.
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. Not enough. Not enough.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to the cyber colony thing. So,
okay, now
just
go back
real
to
quick. Yeah, just try to wind that up.
For me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the reasons that I'm very suspicious of Jeffrey Campbell, is due to Jeffrey Campbell's, I don't know what he does in the real world, which is an interesting question, like what his political or social mission is, and how he's working to fulfill that mission, both online and offline, right? I know that he takes pictures of himself with community organizers in Miami, and that's beautiful and all that. But if we look at Geoff's entire history, which I was surprised to find that Geoff has not deleted embarrassing tweets that he proudly tweeted all the way back in 2016, which at the end of that thread, Andrea, is a whole long list of all of these. If anyone wants to see any of this, you didn't know.
I will link the thread in the chat, and they can look at it if they want to.
They can,
while this
they can have a look at.
Gotcha. It's the last tweet, and it is including a thread of Geoff hanging out with Jill Stein on multiple occasions. Cozy
as a Jill Stein voter.
By the way, I've multiple times. Sorry. It's your show. I won't interrupt you.
No, it's all good. I'm making a bad joke.
I mean, just so we know, I've multiple times and throughout, the timeline of, the normal world have noted how I did not support Jill Stein anymore. I feel like I should never have supported her. I've tweeted about it. I've posted about it. Sorry, Brian, that, maybe you should do some more research. Maybe people have already gone over this a long time ago, and just coming to light doesn't mean someone works for Russia, moron.
No. Well, and I haven't called you a moron, and I refuse to do that. So I guess I should have stipulated maybe we should work toward not,
I mean, it's frustrating when I hear like really silly, stupid things, and you going and rooting up people's past. We can root up your past and what you've done, Brian. Maybe we should do that.
You're welcome to.
You're the only Brian. You're the only person who can change and grow and learn things. Everybody else, they have to be up to this weird standard that no one else on earth has to live up to, except you can change. No one else.
All right, real quick, let me jump in. So, as a Jill Stein voter, I regret voting for Jill Stein in 2016. I also voted for her in a blue state, so it doesn't matter. And I also think Jill Stein is pretty garbage now. And I think Geoff would probably say the same. I don't know if garbage is. And I never said that she's not wonderful. And I do think she has some nefarious ulterior motives. Geoff, would you agree with that?
I do agree. I don't. After 2016, after Bernie lost, there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of people upset. I was connected with some people through organizing locally in Miami, Florida, that worked for the Green Party, not by pay, but just volunteers for the Green Party. They asked people that they had worked side by side, trying to help organize for Bernie during the primary. They asked, could you help us out with Jill Stein? And a lot of us, including myself, said, sure, why not? You seem like really good people. I like you. I'll listen. Jill Stein's saying a lot of good things. Obviously, she had zero chance of winning an election. But out of camaraderie to some fellow friends, we did give some support to Jill Stein. I helped them, find a location for their rally in 2016 in Miami. Does that make me a Russian cyber colonist? I don't know. Maybe according to Brian. But, since then, I've, called out my, disappointment with Jill Stein, my dislike, or my, even ever helping them. Like, it doesn't really matter because it's just the past. But Brian wants to, look up tweets from 2016 as if it's some kind of got you. And the reason they weren't deleted, Brian, is because I don't hide stuff. I don't care. I don't care.
I got you.
All right, Brian, back to you.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I voted Nader in 2000. Okay, so bad.
How dare you?
No, it was terrible, right?
Canceled.
I voted for Gore. I voted Gore. You're a sellout. You're a Russian.
Okay.
I just want to say I was 4 years old in 2000. So
right. So
I was 18. I was 18.
So now an interesting thing happened though with Gore, and Gore chose Joe Lieberman, who ended up backing Bush in the Iraq War like 2 years later. So that was a problem for me, and that was kind of the reason that I couldn't vote for Gore, right? However, when Trump, when was the first time you, Geoff, realized Trump was a fascist?
Well, I don't know, but I think you gave us George Bush, and so I'm a little upset about that.
So can you answer my question? When was the first time you realized Donald Trump might be a fascist during his campaign? Is there a moment?
Probably, I can't, pinpoint the moment, but it was, some point during his 2016 run. Or maybe once I saw him start, I thought a lot of it was just going to be talk. A lot of it was, him posturing, trying to win over voters. But, once he took over and started implementing, I guess that's when I realized it's not, a show anymore.
So for me, it was 2015 when he tweeted Mussolini, praising Mussolini. And remember, Jake Tapper was like, "You're praising Mussolini?" He's like, "Yeah, Mussolini's Mussolini. I mean, what And then I was like,
"Oh, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it was the birther movement thing. That could have been when I realized.
For sure. And then, so you're in a swing state. You're not in a blue state, right? And there's a tweet in that thread of you saying to voters across, I don't know how many followers you had at the time, but you said there's a lot of talk of people switching votes for the Green Party if you're in a safe district or not. Don't do it. Right? And then you actually say in another tweet, you say, "No, Bernie, no, we vote Stein." And it was kind of like Bernie's rallying for Hillary because Bernie recognizes the grave threat of Trump.
Yeah.
And you were like, "No, we know better than Bernie. We vote Stein." Right? Because Hillary is so terrible and cringe and all this stuff. Right? And again, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Right? That whole fiasco came out of WikiLeaks. Right? WikiLeaks, who Robert Mueller, Timothy Snyder, everybody who studies this stuff says was handed the dump by the Kremlin.
Probably.
No, not
probably. I've tweeted about it.
No, it was a fact. It
was handed by the Kremlin straight to WikiLeaks.
I think pretty much Mueller concluded that was the case. I think all the experts who've studied it have basically, I mean, if you watch Tim Canova's interview with Russia Today in 2019, the candidate you supported in 2016 and 2018, by the way, even though Bernie wouldn't endorse him in 2018, and you endorsed him.
Yeah, Brian, that's called when you know people in real life, and a large group of people you're friends with supported this person, that they were in the community, and then you even by the way, Brian, even when we didn't really support him, and me and other people that you've talked about in your weird rants on Twitter, privately confronted Tim Canova, asked him to stop his behavior or he wasn't going to continue to get support. And then, but just because when you know someone in 216 and they're not, showing behavior that seems completely unhinged, you try to work with them, you care about them as an individual, you're hoping for the best, you're hoping maybe they just, this is something personal. And by the way, Tim Canova was going through a lot of stuff, his cat had just passed away. He had his parents were in the hospital, so there was stuff going on. I'm not making excuses for him because I think he's a slime ball, but the dude had some issues. People don't want to just abandon people until they see clearly there's no helping them.
Can I stop?
Or once they see that they're a danger to you or your family or other people around you or your community. Until that moment, you try to help them, and you don't just abandon people. So at that time,
that's great. Can we stop there and move to the current moment? Right?
I would love to move to the current moment. That's a great idea.
May I? So you just made this thing, and you this very solid, very reasonable reason for why you would be on the campaign of Tim Canova in 2018.
I was never on his campaign. I was just somebody.
You were just
helping
tweeting
him out.
You were helping him out and like taking pictures with him and talking about how he came over to the apartment for your birthday and you guys kicking it.
Yeah,
hanging out,
when I'm good friends with the person who works for him and they come over and they ask him, Tim, can
no, dude, understood.
Tim come over? You will let them come over. Yeah. Continue.
I get it completely. So let's look at, just out of curiosity, this is also in the thread. Is Nomiki still G-Hive confirmed, as you said in your tweet when Nomiki name dropped you on Majority Report and talked about how, a tweet of yours of Jimmy Dore comparing himself to MLK and you were like proud and put your tweet on, and we're like, Nomiki, G-Hive confirmed. Is she still in good graces with G-Hive and you, or is she no longer?
Well,
because she's a friend, right? She's a friend of Emma Vigeland and Matt Leck, who have not yet given any reason I've heard other than Nomiki's a wrecker. Nomiki's a wrecker because we endorse or we stand by DSA, and it's like they never give a reason why they stand by DSA. We just do. We must stand by DSA. And
okay.
And it's like, okay, but this woman, right? You've known her for 10 years. She's been on the progressive front lines, a surrogate for Bernie. Her track record is literally empowering and making people aware of the dangers of fascism, of celebrating women, right? She started matriarch.org to elect feminist, intersectional, anti-fascist women all over the country, whereas Kristen Gonzalez got endorsed by DSA and was an American Express executive.
So, what's the question?
Well, the question is, what's your take on Nomiki's race? Are you supporting her,
okay,
or are you like all of your friends on Twitter trashing Nomiki and saying she's horrible things about her, right? Because of this devotion to this woman nobody really knows, but DSA says so. Like, what's the deal with that?
All right. So summary, Nomiki good or Nomiki bad? And those are, of course, the only two options.
Of course, because there's no nuance on this planet.
There's no nuance. There's no nuance. So, okay. So, Tim Canova...
No, can I speak?
Let Geoff answer the question.
Jesus.
Go ahead, man.
Wow. Okay. So, for one, there is no such thing as G-Hive. So, G-Hive cannot support or non-support of Nomiki.
G-Hive.
We'll discuss G-Hive after this.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a great joke. Okay.
It's a wonderful joke.
Don't jokerify yet. Basically, Nomiki Konst and her race, since G-Hive is not a corporation or an organization, we don't endorse or non-endorse candidates. However, a lot of my friends are in DSA, and a lot of my friends support because that candidate is supported by DSA. So I don't live in the area. I don't have any pull, even though you think I control the narrative or whatever weird nonsense conspiracy. I don't have any pull, over elections, or wouldn't Tim Canova be the president and Jill Stein be president already, or Canova be in Congress anyway? So I don't think that me weighing it. So I'm going to go with what the people in the area believe. And do I think this campaign's been run too well? Do I think Nomiki should be, kind of repeating the Bernie bro thing and like accusing people of attacking her and making that something a focal point of her campaign online? No, I don't think she should be doing that. I think it doesn't help her campaign. I don't think that you should be blaming a candidate for the actions of random weirdos online. I don't think that. I think that's a misstep. I think that's a major misstep.
Regarding the Bernie bro thing and accusing, as your friends, your very real friends who are not part of your thing and don't defend everything you say and follow you and block everyone you tell them to block and mute everyone you tell them to mute, as you've done, when they all agree that Nomiki is this and that, and you just kind of, I don't know, you either stay out of it or just kind of let them. That's what I've seen you do.
Yeah, I don't control adults, Brian. I don't tell grown adults how to feel. I don't tell them you are not allowed to support this candidate. Privately we discuss certain things here and there.
Privately
at the G-Hive corporate institutional
at the
studio,
DNC,
the secret bunker
Moscow.
that's 17 miles underground in northwest Alaska.
Well, we're in Moscow now.
Right. What do these conversations look like? So here's the thing, though, Geoff. Right? You have accused me of being everything I despise. You've accused me of being an anti-Semitic person. I am.
You may not know you're doing it, but you are doing it. You are spreading an anti. You might be ignorantly doing this, but you are doing it. If you're telling people that a Jewish person controls thousands of people, is working in a nefarious manner to secretly do things behind the scenes, that is anti-Semitic. And you are doing that. And guess what? I don't secretly control people. I don't work for Russia. I'm not doing anything nefarious. So, Brian, you are engaging in anti-Semitic conspiracies by doing that. Maybe you love Jewish people. Maybe you love your wife, who is a Jewish woman. That doesn't mean you aren't spreading anti-Semitism. Timothy Snyder could easily explain this to you.
So
Brian, you need to pay attention when we have a debate and actually, interact and not talk to other people off stage. I don't have anybody here helping me out.
That's fine. My wife is my partner, my co-host, my best
I have
friend.
A girlfriend. She's not here, and she's not, whispering me to things. And okay.
No, she was just suggesting talk about.
I just want to say, breaking news: Geoff has a girlfriend. So we'll find out more about the story at 11. Please follow for updates.
So, Disco Ball just asked, or suggested maybe I talk about how I got involved in G-Hive and how I became part of this non-G-Hive thing in these group chats, and that's a very labyrinthian story. But I will say this. I'll say this. I was brought into G-Hive right around Force the Vote. G-Hive, not G-Hive. It was a group chat called... oh God, what was it called? Ministry of Shitlib Propaganda, started by Froge and a couple others, and there was another one, Not Me Us. It was called Not Me Us, right? And it was with you, Geoff, and you came in occasionally, right? And I started... Froge told me that this G-Hive thing was real, and I liked you in the beginning. I thought, because I was also under the belief, I had the belief that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was Satan, right? Because I was a Bernie bro too. Right? So I
mean, she's not Satan, but she's pretty terrible. I was extremely terrible.
Oh yeah, was extremely terrible. Now, you voted for Joe Kaufman, the Republican.
I didn't, though. So
no, you did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Let's clear up the vote. Let's just clear up the vote real quick. Did you vote for this person?
Let's. No, I don't. Not only that,
I've been a Democrat all my life, but. I can quote it if you'd like. I mean, it's in the thread.
You can quote whatever you want to quote, but I didn't even. I wasn't.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so you lie in your tweets.
Can I explain? Can I talk? Am I going to ever be able to talk right now?
Let Geoff
Brian, you can pull up old tweets, and you can and do things. When I was in the moment of rage and tweeted I'm going to do something, guess what? I couldn't even vote in that district at that moment. I only could vote in 24 because I was on the county line, and they changed, and I literally could not vote in that election. I could only vote for Wilson, who was unopposed, and she won. And I've worked with her to sponsor. She co-sponsored Medicare for All. What a horrible person I am, Brian. I voted for a Republican, a fantasy Republican. I couldn't even vote for.
Okay, so you just gave the impression to your followers that, hey, I've been a Democrat my whole life, but in this instance, with this case, I can't vote for Debbie Wasserman Schultz, so I'm going to vote. And you said something about how she's for big sugar and corporations, and I was just like, she was, and I was like, yeah, Joe Kaufman, the Republican candidate, probably is much better on all those things, right? Like, come on, dude. Like, it's just funny. Anyway, yeah,
dude, she can't lose, Brian. She cannot lose. You know nothing about South Florida. She cannot lose in that district.
I'm going to do a live fact check on
I'm from
which
there,
year was this?
She is. There are 3-1 Democrats in that district, and it might even be more now. Okay. She cannot lose that election once it gets to the between her and the Republican. A primary, you'd maybe have a shot, but that's very slim to none. You'd have to have a lot of money.
But I'm just saying your hatred of her was so strong that you said...
Yes, it was pretty strong at the moment when I found out that she literally worked with the DNC to undermine Bernie Sanders' campaign.
And then I found...
She did. No, not just according to WikiLeaks. It's not just according
to WikiLeaks. No, that's what they dropped. You actually
and there's nobody has ever said, Brian. Nobody has ever stated whether WikiLeaks got that information from Russia or not, which would be bad. That doesn't mean what's on there was not real or true.
You don't think Julian Assange is a Kremlin agent? Okay, that's interesting.
I don't like Julian Assange. I think he's a fucking piece of shit. But I don't. That doesn't mean. I think Julian Assange is a piece of shit. That does not mean that what was found in those emails wasn't true. No one has ever, on the other end, said these emails are not real.
No, they were just real. Upset that they were real. They were real.
So she was working to undermine Bernie.
Well, yeah,
and Donna Brazil even said that she was working to undermine Bernie. There's multiple people who have said. So, Brian, what are you talking about?
Tulsi Gabbard too. Tulsi Gabbard too. Remember?
And Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes, I would like to ask, I'm just curious, what are we talking about right now?
I don't know. I don't even know.
This is the old stuff. I mean, I want to get back to the anti-Semitic conspiracy. No, it's cool.
So, I know. Brian, let's discuss whether or not it's anti-Semitic to claim that a Semite, just for reference, I'm pro-Semite, is controlling a Twitter group. Is that anti-Semitic?
No. It's not about controlling a Twitter group. I don't say that Geoff controls a Twitter group. Okay. I say that Geoff has a very interesting cadre, we could call it a hive, of friends on Twitter who seem to, they were all in, at the time, when they were, I was in these groups, they were all
Can I clear something up about these group chats? Can I clear something up?
Please do. Real quick.
Mm-hmm. People invite me into group chats, and I'm sure probably both of you, it's happened a bunch of times throughout the history of me.
58,000 group chats, and I don't
literally
ever.
Exactly. People just literally invite you into group chats, and sometimes I do leave if I look around and I see it's absolutely filled with right-wingers or something weird if it happens. But if I look around and it seems like some normal leftist activity going on, sometimes I hang out, sometimes I chat, sometimes I check in. I do not control these chats.
No, I didn't create the chat. And hold on a minute. Find the place where I said you control the chats.
So because I'm in a group chat.
Hold on a second. I said cyber colony, right? The concept of cyber colony is that a network of bots and trolls control and shift and steer a climate of opinion, as Snyder says, to make people do things.
Did you even listen to him though? Did you listen to him, Brian? Because what he was talking about is when they do these hashtag things where right wingers do these hashtags about lock her up or and then out of nowhere all day lock her up.
No. He talks about the WikiLeaks. Talks about the drop in that piece, the cyber colony.
In WikiLeaks, there was hashtags within those WikiLeaks documents. I forgot what it was now because it's been 7 years or 6 years or whatever the hell it's been. But there were hashtags, Brian. This is the point. That what he's talking about is not a bunch of friends or people who mostly agree on politics chatting together in group chats. Is not what he's talking about. He's talking about actual fake robots that are mass tweeting and getting mass boosted by literal I don't know, these Russians or whoever the hell he's claiming it is. Maybe it is Russia. He's not talking about regular people like me or most of the people that I'm friendly with on Twitter. He's talking about an actual operation of bots.
Can I ask you something, Geoff?
Jesus.
Is Katie? No, really quick. Is Katie Halper a regular person?
I don't know. I don't like Katie Halper. I think Katie Halper is a fake.
She's a fake, but is she a regular person?
She's a regular, well-off person, I guess.
Is she a real person?
She's real.
Is Crystal Ball a real person?
Yes, she's real.
And Brianna Joy Gray is a real person, right?
They're all real people, yes.
Right,
They're
right.
human
And
beings.
Jimmy Dore is a real person, right?
Yep.
So
Now, I just want to say I dispute the idea that Jimmy Dore is a real person. I think it's more likely he's a cyborg sent from the future to destroy our world.
Yes, I agree. We're all agreed on that, right? But here's the thing, Geoff. There's no legitimacy in a troll farm, which I believe you are a part of, if not leading. I believe you're a part of it. Because of
so I am leading or a part of a troll farm, but not a network.
There you go. Okay, so you admitted that you are part of a troll farm.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you. I did not admit it.
Oh, okay. So all of your friends who have, let's see.
Do you know what a troll farm is, Brian?
But can I just talk about my experience with what I believe a troll farm to be, which is a lot of your friends, have accused me of being something that I despise. Anti-Semitic. I'm not, okay?
But you spread anti-Semitic conspiracies.
I don't.
You do. You do.
Dude.
Uh-oh.
How, excuse me.
Oh, you got to turn this on.
Hi. Yeah, I didn't know I was debating some other random person.
A random person.
How
here
the
talking
hell
here.
can you say
Yeah,
that he
let's
is
go.
anti-Semitic?
He is spreading anti-Semitic conspiracies. Yes.
That is complete and utter. How?
Well,
I want to hear how.
I've explained. I explained it earlier. I explained it earlier pretty
Let's
clearly.
just get a summary, a quick one once again.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay,
I'd like to know
when you claim that a Jewish person is controlling thousands of people and nefariously working behind the scenes to control the narrative.
Say that you control anything? Did he?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Yeah, he said.
I might have said he's like leading
Yes.
a
Yes.
group thing.
Okay, how are
you know.
you not controlling things and people's perspectives
I don't
when
control
you're
any.
when you're telling people to unfriend people, to block people, and you don't take any responsibility for that?
So wait,
and
if
you have
I tweet
20,000 followers.
If I tweet out, please leave me alone, and this person's annoying me, and you should probably block and unfollow them because they're. Wait, Brian, no, stop! You literally just sat there tagging people nonstop for months. You want to go, bro? Okay, you literally wouldn't stop harassing. You can bring your wife on if you want. You would not stop harassing
I decided
people.
to come on.
Okay, you would not stop tagging people multiple times a day in weird-ass posts about Joanne Reed or why we need to hate David Sirota or why we need to hate the next person, and you wouldn't stop doing it. It was unwanted. It was literal harassment. You were harassing people, and you were harassing me. So I said, please, this person will not stop. It's time to block or ignore them because I had enough. That is not controlling people. They can choose to do whatever they want. I did not put a trigger to their heads. I did not do multiple tweets saying, you got to get rid of this person. I did not defame him. I said he is annoying, and he is annoying. And the massive tweet tagging about Joanne Reed is next level weird. So if you think that's fine and normal behavior, sure.
I'm really curious as to, okay, so you could say these kind of things. Great. You could say that, but then it doesn't end there. They have been attacking him and trying to
guilt by association.
Destroy everything about every single thing he posts, every video he makes, and he's trying to start a freaking YouTube thing, and it's like, you know,
he's trying to grift. I get it.
He's
trying to clout chase, use me as some enemy so he can get people to watch his stupid little live streams and his little shows. Okay, I don't care if.
So let me just look.
It's up to you, Brian, to get an audience. It's up to you.
One sec. Andrea, if you don't mind.
You down. Like,
I'm sorry.
I mean, look at all
I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't tear him
All
down.
right, okay. Let's try to
Hold on.
reframe this situation a little bit here. Okay, so it appears the key word here would be, or words would be controlling or leading. So if Brian says that you
And nefarious. He said I'm nefarious. It's nefarious control.
I do believe it's nefarious because you have 20,000 followers.
Okay, so let's.
But that's not anti-Semitic. My
Bro,
wife.
why are you obsessed with my followers, man? Why are you obsessed with the number?
Let me try to
Because
reframe
It's such
this a
a
little.
projection. Projection.
If I might answer.
Okay.
If I might answer why it's a problem. It's a problem, Geoff, because I have a mission. Okay.
But no one wants to follow because you can't articulate the mission well. You're bad at it. You're really bad at articulating.
Can you give me a shot? Can you give me a shot?
All right, Brian, you have the floor. Let's do it.
My mission is to peacefully abolish white supremacist patriarchal capitalism, also known as fascism, by using my voice, right? My literal voice, this one, my tweets, my videos, and my streams to galvanize all of the culture and art world to manifest my dream, our dream, Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties all over America. Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties are nothing more than the revivification of the rallies for Bernie's campaign that were beginning to look and feel more and more like a festival than a political rally before COVID struck, right? Remember those? Jack White in Detroit, Bon Iver in Iowa, Prince's NPG in Minneapolis, the Strokes in New Hampshire, Neil Young and Free Nationals in California, Cardi's interview with Bernie at the nail salon, right? And remember how Bernie won those first three primaries after months of holding those big fun rally raves and turned out the youth vote? Remember that? Before the, the Super Tuesday fiasco and all that, right? Our vision is simply this, Geoff, and tell me, because in private DMs you seem to support and like the idea, you never did anything with it, but our vision is simply this: everywhere MAGApalooza rolls, right? Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties roll, right? So our vision that voters in those forgotten red and purple districts who are bored as hell and are becoming incels have a choice, right? A, they can go to a joyless Nazi MAGA rally starring Trump Jr., Laura Ingraham, Giuliani, and Candace Owens, and we'll even throw in Kanye and Chappelle, if that's where Chappelle wants to be right now, right? Or B, a Not Me, Us Fest democracy party starring Dolly Parton, Beyonce, Megan Rapinoe, Fleetwood Mac, Olivia Rodrigo, Madonna, Kendrick Lamar, Bruce Springsteen, Jane Fonda, AOC, Corey Bush, Joy Reid, Sam Cedar, Sarah Silverman, Tim Heidecker, Jon Stewart, Shaquille O'Neal, and every DJ in the world to play an alternative sliding scale festival that goes all day and night for democracy, that's actually a voter registration drive. Who, get this, Geoff, get this, will share the stage, right, with local artists, athletes, actors, etc., community leaders, political organizers, so that there's equality, so that it's not just worshiping celebrities.
Brian,
are lifting up the local community, and which can be a launching pad, imagine it, for the green jobs industry, for the Green New Deal, where activists for climate justice, unions, and workplace democracy, and feminism, and anti-fascism all speak in between the sets. That's how I believe we could save democracy and disembowel fascism and the incel culture that feeds it, right? By hashtag forcing the fun, okay? So because guess what, Geoff? The fascists, you know what they're doing, right? They're organizing militias and paramilitaries, right? They have all the weapons of war, right? They also have the advantage online, right? Since Zuckerberg and Jack Dempsey and Elon Musk are all in cahoots, boosting libertarian opinions and anti-democratic opinions, Democratic Party is a piece of shit, right?
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah, in 1 sec. They have none of the weapons of culture, with the exception of John Voight, Scott Baio, Kid Rock, and maybe Kanye, right? We have everyone else in the art world. Those beautifully flawed, richly talented humans who create culture in every sphere of American culture, right? So then why are we about to be overthrown by talentless fascists, right? We have the entire cast and staff of Stranger Things and Pose and Succession. We have everyone who headlines every festival all over the world. We just need the will, right?
Okay.
To beg Soros and Oprah and Dolly and Clooney and Angelina Jolie to fund it, right? You, Geoff, have 19,000 followers on Twitter, right? And some of your closest friends who despise me the most, Frank the Socialist Cat Dad, right?
We're entering the shout-outs portion of the program.
Have been forced to admit in a video I made about them on my on our now playing.
This is the problem, video. Dude. Stop making videos about people, about strangers.
No, check it out. I mean, the video is mostly about the idea, right? Galvanizing, manifesting, Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties. But I had to stop it because the other problem is that I have all these trolls shitting on me all the time with your
Brian, why are these people doing this? Because you're annoying. Because you tag them. You tag them in multiple.
I'm
You tag
I'm
them.
fine being annoying, bro.
Okay, I want to say a couple things real quick. Let me try to reframe. It's okay. So, Brian is annoying because he tweets. These are the claims. Brian is annoying because he tweets at people most of the time out of context, like he's not replying to anything. He just adds people and asks them questions about random people, seemingly random people online, like David Sirota. For example, I believe he asks people why David Sirota has like a regular appearance contract with what were the Breaking Points or Rising at the time, which in my opinion is a good question. I think that's a good question.
For him,
I will say that Brian's approach on this of tagging people with no context, probably not the best approach, because I think people on Twitter are often, they don't respond well to people they don't know, throwing a bunch of information at them. A lot of people, they're on Twitter just to talk to their friends or whatever. But the other thing that I want to say is that Geoff does have a lot of followers, compared to, the other people at play. Does Geoff have influence? Maybe. Does he have more influence than most people on Twitter? Probably. But, does that mean he should automatically have to, think about everything he posts, with extensive, I wonder, whatever. So is he controlling or leading anything? Probably. My bet is indirectly. And is it that bad, or is it, related to a Russian cyber colony? Probably not. But I will say that, there is a lot of groupthink in Twitter spaces, in group chats. There is like a natural, I think this is just a natural thing with humans, is humans have like the typical lunch table mentality of they want to fit in certain kind of groups, and they're more likely to not rock the boat or whatever. So if someone's in a group chat and they say, something that other people don't like, they would be less likely to say it in the future or more likely to be removed. I think that that's just a natural human component. And I think
that I will have to add here that I did push back because I was in group chats with a lot of the Jimmy Dore, loony crowd, and I did push back and did post and did call out all those people, all these, podcasters circling Jimmy Dore, trying to get some action off of him. And I was thrown out of, probably 3 or 4 of those chats way back, probably 2018 or 19, some of them. And then by 2020, definitely when I said that we all need to vote for Joe Biden, and then was called a shit lib sellout and all the rest. So I do push back, and I don't care about groupthink. And if I cared so much about groupthink, then why is Brian bringing up this whole Nomiki situation where he claims, that I'm friends with Nomiki, but quote-unquote G-Hive, they hate Nomiki. Maybe there's nuance on the planet. Maybe, Brian, maybe it's not groupthink, and maybe sometimes people can just disagree. Maybe sometimes, it's not black and white like you're making it.
So, well, I'm going to find, after this, and if anyone wants to see, I will go collect all of the very friendly disagreements, respectful disagreements that many of your friends and associates on Twitter have had with the Nomiki campaign.
Why can't you focus?
I just want to say, I want to, so the Nomiki campaign is like a very divisive subject. A lot of people think that she's doing a bad job by running. Personally, I disagree with that. A lot of people have like a default, favorability for DSA that I believe is mostly unearned. But that being said, I have, the associated people with the G-Hive, if I'm allowed to say that, I think the people that Brian's talking about, I think they mostly have been ragging on Nomiki pretty hard. I don't know if Geoff has, I don't keep up with everyone, but the vibe that I'm getting on Twitter and other places that people in this group we're talking about I think Nomiki is getting dragged pretty hard. And I think a lot of it, is over the top. That's my opinion. I think Brian's question here on this subject is, why are people so rude and mean and nasty to Nomiki? Is it based on a policy disagreement, or is it just DSA is good and should we listen to them no matter what? Now, I think most people would actually answer the question with DSA is good and we should listen to them no matter what. And that I'm down to debate that personally. I don't have the same position on DSA, but I'm down to debate that. If that's the reason why you support that, that's fine. But I think that the thing with the G-Hive, right? It's just a collection of group chats, and most group chats have very similar people in them. There, it might be a core group of 30 people, and this one's got 5 different ones. This one's got, but a lot of group chats have a lot of the same people in it. And I think personally, group chats, I think they do more harm than good. That's my opinion. I think every group chat I've ever been in ends with people in like this, people yelling at each other,
I'm pretty sure what this all stems from is that Brian's just upset and sad that he got thrown out of some group chats, and instead of just internalizing what's going on and people being off put by the way he's interacting with them, he's now lashing out, obsessing, doing videos on people, on strangers, digging up their old tweets. Brian, we're not friends in real life. I don't know why you're obsessed, why you constantly tag me from behind a block. You have me blocked on Twitter, yet you constantly tag me in posts. What is this? It's bizarre.
I'll tell you.
All right, Brian, please give us the tell-all. Why do you tag him behind a block?
Geoff, I have one question, yes or no. Have you seen Obsessive Weirdo? It's at Brian Getting Up, I think, it's a new... thing. It's my troll account that's pretending to be me and saying jihad, fascist. Tim Canova is following him. Actually, you're the guy that you can't stand is interested in that account.
That's actually really funny that Tim Canova is involved in this drama.
Yeah, then it's interesting, isn't it, Andrea? And you don't have to say whether it is or not. Oh, and also David Sirota retweeted him, which is interesting. So good on him for that. He's been posting old pics of me, and he tweeted at my father-in-law. That was neat. So he's been doing some research on me. I've never done any personal research on Geoff or anyone at all because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what they do publicly instead of trying to find...
You're interested in manipulating what they do publicly.
Not at all.
Bringing up certain things they do and not other things they've said.
Okay, so
you are literally a propagandist. Your videos are propaganda. They're cut quick edits of certain little things. You are a propagandist. I'm well aware.
I am a propagandist.
So you are. You admit
for democracy. So yes, I think we need more people.
So you're a propagandist.
I'm a propagandist for democracy, Geoff. Are you
sure.
a propagandist?
For what you think is democracy.
No.
For what you believe is democracy.
I'm sorry. So, Geoff, are you saying that there is not an attack on democracy right now in the country?
Yeah, but I don't think you are doing anything about it. I think you're actually causing more harm by obsessing.
I would just like to say, I think both of us have no sway in whether democracy will survive.
None.
No.
But we should aspire to.
Real quick. No. Brian, you went on for 45 minutes about your love fest that you want to have happen and your out of whatever the festival that you're trying to have. Brian,
not me us fest, not
me us fest, which sounds like a pretty decent, somewhat plan.
Somewhat.
Wait, it's a little. You're just
namby-pamby, up in the air.
No. It's just you're just obsessed with cultural figures. But put that aside. If you want to,
Geoff,
Brian, if you only focused on that, Geoff, if you only focused on your fest instead of harassing strangers.
No, I can't. That's the problem, bro.
Yes, you can. Stop talking about strangers.
One sec. It's not about strangers. Talking about them. People. It's about people online and what they do online that concerns me. Right? Which Twitter.
Dude, you're not fixing anything. You're just annoying people. No one. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. You have just annoyed a bunch of people. You tag them when they don't want to be tagged. They don't like you. They made fun of you. I can't control that. I don't control adults. So
Hey, Andrea,
stop
can
harassing them. Stop
Andrea?
making videos, and they'll leave you alone. It's like it's easy.
All right, so let me just say this, okay? I would like to reframe the conversation a little.
Okay.
And so let's talk about these videos because, like, you know, I want to make sure we get to the videos because I think they're an important part of this. So, Brian, you are a video editor. My opinion on your videos is I think they're amazing. I think your editing skills are extremely creative. And I also think that, like, in a little bit, I think you're wasting some of your talents by making videos on nobodies. I think if you were to make more videos on, like, people like David Sirota, that would be great. Go on.
Oh, got it. Beautiful. So I just made a video, for instance, on Emma Viglin's bizarre,
That was a weird video, dude. You're not helping yourself with that video. You're not helping. That video was bad.
Let Brian describe the video real quick.
I do like. I think he has some. Some of it is pretty creative. His videos and the visual part of it looks pretty nice. Some of it, but making weird videos about Emma Viglin because she doesn't support Nomiki and you're all up in arms about that is just wasted time. You're wasting your life doing this. Make a video about something like important. Make a video about your love fest. I don't know. Yeah, be positive. Stop talking about fucking random people.
Brian, describe like your opinion on this video, like the Emma one or whatever.
So thank you, Andrea. I made a 25-minute video and a 10-minute video, a short version and a long version of the full vision. It's the first two videos on our channel, Getting Down with Disco and Brian. They are literally, I made them when I was in your friends' group chats, because your friends were saying, Brian, you're so negative. You're always attacking women. You're a misogynist, man. You're going after Marianne Williamson just because she told Matt Taibbi that he was her mentor, and why are you asking these people these annoying questions? And it's like, well, dude, I see that they're on the arc that Jimmy Dore is on, and don't you guys? And they'd be like, yeah, kind of like how Geoff goes, yeah, I mean, I don't like Katie Halper, but I'm not going to like tweet at her all the time. I mean, even though she
blocked me. She has me blocked, dude. Sure. And I've actually met Katie in real life.
Okay, congratulations. I'm sure she's a thrill. But here's the thing.
She's not.
Yeah, no, clearly. There's a reason.
Did I just wait? Hold on. Did I just find agreement here? Do we have we found a place an olive branch can be extended? Katie Halper's garbage.
Yeah, Katie's just lets Jimmy Dore and the rest of them walk all over her.
And has been for the whole time, just as Brianna Joy Gray. For instance, finally, Geoff...
She doesn't let them walk all over her. She just joins them.
So yeah, she just soft shoes and goes, well, the great replacement theory, it's bad, but it's just, if we could adjust it a little bit and make it about class instead of immigrants, then... And she did a whole 20-minute thing on that. That was neat. Oh, and by the way, how many tweets has Nina Turner tweeted out to criticize her friend Brianna Joy Gray? I know that it took her up until 2 days ago to finally call Jimmy Dore out and body him, as you appropriately said she did. But I'm concerned.
I'm blocked. How do you know that? I'm blocked. How do you know what I tweeted?
Oh, because I look at what everybody.
Because yes, I know. Because you obsessively watch every tweet.
You know why I do that? let me tell you why I do that. I do. I look for, because I'm seeing
every tweet. What a good use of time, Brian. You're really fighting fascism by watching my every tweet.
Let's try to speed run this a little bit. Nina Turner.
I only have like 15 minutes.
Okay, so real quick, let's talk about Nina Turner real quick, because you are wearing the Nina Turner shirt.
I voted for Nina Turner. I donated hundreds of dollars to her first campaign, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt. I believed in Nina Turner more than any other politician, and she is one of the politicians who has let me down the most due to her associations with and praises of Crystal Ball after Crystal Ball went on Joe Rogan and does this the woke stuff and agrees with her fascist.
Brian, do you agree with every single thing your friends and your family and everyone you know and your wife? Do you agree with everything they say?
No,
everything they say.
Not at all.
Exactly. So Nina Turner might be friendly with people and not agree with them, but not make a whole scene out of it.
But okay,
is that possible, Brian?
So the longer people stay quiet as the mass psychology of fascism infests culture, which it's doing, right? The bigger the threat of fascism grows. For instance, Mike on the Humanist Report, recently. I know he's maybe going to watch this because he engaged you a little bit about me and said, I don't remember what that guy was bothering me about. And I was trying to go, Mike, why did you say Crystal Ball did such a great job on Bill Maher? And Bill Maher, we know, is like a pipeline to the alt-right, right? Saying, yeah, she really stood up for working class values on Bill Maher. Crystal Ball is a multi-millionaire, right? Who has
She's a grifter. I know.
Left-washed Joe Rogan, right, with her co-host, who she agrees on 90%, and she's been doing this for 3 years, right? And again, I was a fan. I liked Rising because Michael Brooks went on Rising, and so I went to their book signing and I got my book signed. And it's hard to it's hard to ignore the blurbs that were written praising the work that Crystal and Sagar were doing, because Nina Turner was the only good person among those blurbs. It was Tucker Carlson, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kyle Kalinske, right?
Damn, that's one like nightmare blunt rotation. Holy shit.
So what have I been doing, Andrea? I've been going, hey Nina, I love you. What are you doing? Please don't do that. And because I've done that, and because I said, hey Nina, it was really, I mean, I really wish you'd have gone with Bernie's, let's vote for Hillary in 2016 so that we would now have a 6-3 majority liberal Supreme Court. That would have been cool. Maybe like think about your actions and who you're embracing and what you're. That's what I'd like to see from Nina.
You gave us George Bush. And you're telling her what she should have done.
Let's try not to bring the great disaster of 2000 up. I was 4 years old. To me, this is trauma, childhood trauma that I still.
I gave us George Bush. PTSD. I gave us George Bush. Who unfortunately, Joe Lieberman...
Who gave us Trump.
So Joe Lieberman, the VP, right, 2 years after the election of 2000, was endorsing Bush and spoke at the Republican National Convention in 2004.
People change. That's shocking.
Okay. So, but
all right. Let me try to...
Lieberman's... but Andrea, can I just say this? Because this is a really big thing that I... Your friend Scarlet Red, is a lovely woman.
Who, by the way, unfollowed me a little rudely, I might say. So call out on that one.
So that person, Scarlet Red, and Gato, Carcosa lobbyist, as well as Winston, your friend Winston, and Matt Dimitri, together. By
the way, all these people don't even like each other, but they're all part of a colony of G-Hive or something. But all right.
Okay. So what I just wanted to say is, they have, as well as accusing me of being an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist who's just married to a Jewish woman whose relatives like yours fled Ukraine in the 1920s, just as yours did. But I'm married to her, but she doesn't count, I guess, because maybe she's a woman. I don't know why she. She counts.
She counts, but you're still spreading.
No. Not according to her.
You are spreading.
That's according
to anti-Semitism.
That's according
to multiple
you,
people,
Geoff.
And lots of people, and
lots
of
people who
people
agree. Here we go.
Who've witnessed
agree with you.
No, who watch what you do. They watch what you're doing,
That's
and
wrong.
They have an opinion.
That's wrong. So
no,
I don't know anyone in my personal life who's like, yeah, Brian, he's a real anti-Semite, except for
no. Brian, you are pushing anti-Semitic conspiracies.
I'm not,
whether you know.
So my wife doesn't matter in this. That's fine.
All right. Okay. On the anti-Semitism, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this. And it keeps coming up, and it keeps coming up. But let's try to move on to another subject.
And Andrea, there's plenty of people who are pro-Israel, pro-IDF, right? Who say that anybody that criticizes Israel is anti-Semitic. So, okay, move on. It's an easy thing to accuse.
What did that have to do with this situation?
You're accusing me of being a horrible thing just because I disagree with you, Geoff.
I'm accusing you of promoting anti-Semitic conspiracies, which you are doing.
According to my wife, who I guess matters less than you, I'm not.
Okay, cool.
So,
your wife, that's the good source. What a cool source, dude. Your wife.
Oh, my wife.
We will bring this to the Council of Jews very shortly, but let's table this.
So
I will.
Official idea.
Let's table it, Andrea, because this is something you and I have spoken of, as well as being.
We can have multiple Jewish people on that aren't your wife, and let's see what they think.
That's great. Maybe Katie Halper would agree with you. Child predator, obsessive, weirdo, racist creep is what I've been called. by Scarlet Red. You, Geoff, convinced someone I greatly respect, Ben Dixon, to unfollow me on Twitter. And tragically, most recently, journalist Jessica Aro, who we were ecstatic, agreed initially to join our live stream channel on YouTube, which we have, for her new book, Putin's Trolls. Because if I were Jessica and I believed what your friends have accused me of, and you, I would unfollow me too. You told her to, beware of me and avoid me, right? Because I despise anti-Semitism, I despise conspiracy theories, and I despise child abuse of any kind, but especially sexual abuse of children, right?
Except but you're banned on YouTube's live stream for promoting weird stuff with children, and you continually promote a conspiracy that I
So Andrea,
you are doing those things.
Okay, now can I just make this case here? Andrea has seen the video. In fact, when I went on Andrea's stream last time, our 3-hour conversation, that was the video that I had just created, and it wasn't taken off of YouTube, right? It is still up on Twitter, which Twitter's terms of service policies.
So let's describe the video real quick.
Please. So the video, Geoff. First off, Geoff, did you happen to see the Ted Cruz's performance during the confirmation hearings of Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black female justice of the Supreme Court? Did you see that at all?
She went to the same high school as my mom.
Okay, did you see it?
I didn't. I saw clips. I don't really remember. It's been a while, but I know Ted Cruz. Then I know but continue.
Ted Cruz used the term child porn or child pornography about 20 times during that confirmation hearing, and in so doing, convinced racists in my family who don't want a Black female Supreme Court justice to be on the Supreme Court, right? Convinced them that she was kind of like soft on children,
on grooming stuff.
On people guilty of horrible things. Basically, tried to say if you put her on the Supreme Court, she's gonna let child molesters get away with it, right? So that's what Ted Cruz spent his time doing, as well as Josh Hawley and Lindsey Graham. I had planned on making 3 videos, one each for all of those monsters, accusing this amazing angelic human being of these atrocious things, right? So I made a video, and I called it Ted's Nasty Obsession. And on YouTube, I foolishly put a colon as part of the title, and I put child porn, right? Because Ted's Nasty
Big
Obsession...
L. Yeah, you should have known better.
I should have known, but I didn't.
Take that L.
I took the L, and I take the L. But there's the explanation of it, right? It took it down because I named it that, because that is what Ted's Nasty Obsession was. He was obsessed with portraying...
How about just don't ever go near... Don't do that, though. Just like, you can make this point without like going across that line. It's like, I know you're trying to get people to watch your video, and you're trying to... But that was your fault. And it's definitely a weird video.
Oh, it's definitely a weird video. Let me ask you this, Geoff. Have you ever heard of Bill Hicks?
Yeah, I know. Well, I know a lot about Bill Hicks.
Do you know Bill Hicks' joke about Rush Limbaugh liking to be peed on by with his winkly, shrivelly little dick, and it's a great bit, right? That is the comedy that I grew up with, right? That is the kind of satire that I want to make. It's disgusting, right? My video trolling Ted Cruz's disgusting performance, trying to, portray Justice Jackson as a child molester, basically, was why I made the video. Because I was so nauseated watching it that I said, I need to make something that really exposes what's going on here. And you know what's going on there, Geoff? And this is what I did. In case have you seen the video, Geoff?
I think somebody once sent it to me, and I looked at it for a second.
It's on Twitter. Twitter has zero tolerance policy for child safety as well. Hasn't been removed.
All right. But do we need to? We don't need to. I mean, we've got limited time. So do we need to talk about your video or?
Well, let me just say, let me as the moderator say that the video is gross. It's nasty, as it is in the title. But does that make Brian a child predator? No, that's a stupid thing
I never claimed he was.
Yeah, I'm not saying you did, Geoff, but like some people have said that. That's a little too much. Could you say it's weird that he put actual like photos of like Ted's kids in the video? Probably.
And one more time,
Andrea, that just makes it more visceral. Go on.
It is visceral, and I just wanted to say, I'm accused by Stephen McVean, who's a really charming, very attractive guy, of let's see, he's the one, and your friend Winston, right? Those two are the ones that got Jessica Aro, who I was excited to interview, to cancel, or not cancel, but unfollow me. She hasn't been on Twitter in a while. This is a woman who knows intricately how troll farms work, and had to leave Helsinki in fear for her life because they so.
Brian, wouldn't she know that if we were a troll farm? Wouldn't she know? Wouldn't she know?
That is an ironic thing, Geoff. It's a very ironic thing. However, if and again, when I had my video removed by YouTube, I went on, because you can't contact YouTube, right? Because they do all their stuff via Twitter, via the team YouTube. And so in all my communication with them, I was trying to explain, this is a video that is a satire. I removed the video. Please
YouTube,
unblock my channel.
They don't understand satire. So like to them, in YouTube's position, like you're promoting the idea that Ted Cruz is into child whatever. So and YouTube is stupid.
Right there. And stop right there. Ted Cruz, as I show in the video, in the when he's like doing the thing, when he's making this humiliating, disgusting thing against Ketanji Jackson, he in the video I show behind Ted Cruz, right, the image of Ted Cruz with Josh Duggar going, the criminal child molester who raped all of his sisters and kids and was a monster, right? And then later in the video, at the end of the video, I have Brett Kavanaugh talking about, that bear, and then I show a clip of Trump bragging about how he walked in on children in his teen modeling thing. And then the last two are Trump admitting to Howard Stern that he's a sexual predator. That's interesting, right? Laughing about it. And the next one is David Epstein with pictures of Trump and an 11-year-old Ivanka at David Epstein's parties back in the 90s or 80s or whatever.
Jeffrey?
Right?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Who did I say?
David
Epstein.
Isn't it interesting that
there's
Jeffrey
another David
Epstein
I know
and
a David
Jeffrey
Epstein
Campbell?
I know David Epstein who's just as cringe. But let me say this. That video, right, was intentionally disgusting, right?
Okay, but what does that have to do with us right now?
Hold on. No,
well, the point is that people, not necessarily you, but other people have called him a child predator, which I think is stupid.
Your friends.
Okay, I will.
And what will you do?
I will give you this. Calling you specifically a child predator based only on that video as evidence would be unfair. But it definitely doesn't look good. And I don't think anyone should call you that. And I never saw nobody ever came to me going, hey, we're going to call Brian a pedo or something. And if they had, I'd say that's probably not, sorry, you lost me. I'd probably tell them that's a bad idea. So,
okay, that's very nice. All
right, so let's move on.
No, one more thing. The pictures of children or the images that I put in the video around Ted Cruz, as he's like he's like this guy I got a picture of a guy at a beach, and I put a larger guy, and I put kids around him. Those kids are the kids that surrounded your governor, Ron DeSantis, during his Don't Say Gay signing ceremony. So I was really driving the point home about this Republican right-wing, or now maybe even left-wing, let's protect the children theme, right? Which is actually...
But it backfired.
it's actually based on nothing, right? But other than fear of the gays, right? Fear that the gays are going to pervert my children, right? They're child predators, all of them. That's what the consistent theme of the right wing ever since I was a kid has been, right? So what I did is I took images from that signing ceremony to really drive the point home that the Republican Party is full of child predators, and people like Ted Cruz are the ones that are the most enthusiastic in their support of child predators. That is what the video said. And,
right.
And another thing that I've learned through this process, by the way, the video is still on Twitter. It violates It violates no TOS on Twitter, okay? So the idea that YouTube's decision making, right, which is bot oriented, right, is a slander, right, is what is it? Is what we should use to verify or validate my character is a very interesting thing to do, right?
Okay.
All right.
So I mean, they took down Andrea's.
The video, you can dislike the video. It doesn't make Brian an evil, incarnate of Satan.
No, but there was another weird video where he put AOC's head on
not AOC's
Princess head. Leia. He put
yep.
And then had
Princess
her hanging
Leia.
Off of him, and I don't know, man. It was bizarre and sexualizing her, and I don't know.
So that's an interesting. Thank you, Geoff, for bringing that up.
Kind of cringe.
Everything's cringe to somebody. So when I was a child, when I was 8, I think, is when Empire Strikes Back came out, and that was my favorite movie. I was 7. Anyway, I'm really old. I am old, by the way. Scarlett loves to point that out and makes fun of me dancing, which is cute. Because old people shouldn't dance, right? That's cringe. But another thing is...
Maybe it's not that they shouldn't dance, but just maybe dancing in that fashion.
Oh, that fashion. So I should just go...
You gotta do the twist, bro.
I don't care how... Yeah, do the twist. You're old. You gotta do the twist. The mashed potato.
Yeah. So, on the question of sexualizing AOC in a video based on a children's movie called Return of the Jedi, Princess Leia was the slave of Jabba the Hutt, right?
Well, I know the movie. You don't have to go through the whole movie. I know.
I don't know the movie, just for reference. I've never seen Star
Wars.
Wars.
Salacious Crumb in that scene, the laughing little creature, the laughing guy that Jabba the Hutt controlled.
You know who I made?
Love that. I love that guy.
You know who I made that in the video? I put a face on that. You know who that is?
Who?
That would be Paul Gomer. No, not Paul Gomer. Who's the guy in Arizona, Andrea?
Gosar?
Who's the Nazi? Gosar. I put Gosar on the face of Salacious Crumb.
Okay? Don't do that to Crumb.
That's cute. So anyway, in the video, though, what happens, the story of the video is, right? AOC, as Princess Leia, does what Princess Leia did to Jabba the Hutt to Jabba the Trump. She chokes him. And the reason that I put Gosar in there is that video was my video edit response to Gosar's anime video where he kills AOC, right? That was the whole point. And yeah.
So the context is lost on most people, though.
Oh, okay. I guess people who
That's what I'm trying. That's just where I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get your message out there in a way that it'll resonate with people and not.
I see. So
do this. They're like, whoa.
Wait. What didn't resonate about that?
I don't know, dude. Just having AOC half naked swinging on your back or whatever was going on in that video.
I did come in as Luke Skywalker, the guy that comes and in fact on the ship that saves AOC from the after we burn down Jabba the Trump's caravan. On the ship are Cyndi Lauper, Cardi B, and Bernie dancing with Michael Jackson's legs, and then AOC and I. Go toward the state, we drift off into the fun and we're partying. It's not about sex, dude. It's about having fun.
I don't know. I wouldn't put AOC make her half naked in a video.
Okay. Let me jump in here.
Andrea, please.
Okay,
let me just ask
give me a
question.
couple more seconds. Go.
I know. One more second. Return of the Jedi was not a movie made. It is not a sex movie, bro. It is a movie made for children.
Everybody knows. everybody knows Princess Leia from that, like, and it is sexualized.
I've never seen
like,
Star Wars.
You don't know but you don't know what she looks like with the roll, with the hair.
She's in a fucking bikini,
yeah,
dude.
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
I mean, but here's the thing, though, Geoff. Are bikinis sexualizing women? I mean, isn't nudity or like partial nudity or something? I mean, aren't we the left? Aren't we the anti-moral majority, dude?
I'm cool with people being in bikinis, but I don't know about putting AOC's head on somebody in a bikini.
It's Princess Leia, dude. In a movie for children.
I don't know. It's not the worst offense.
I don't know.
It's just not.
Yeah. So anyway, we can agree to disagree on Brian's videos. Some of them are bangers. Some of them suck. It's possible. We're allowed to disagree. Does that make Brian deranged? Sometimes, maybe. But is being deranged a bad thing? Not all the time. So okay, I wanna try to get another thing out of here before we run into any time issues. And that's that I want to really drive home that politically, both of you are very similar in your personal politics. I think the main difference between both of y'all is like a strategy thing. Like Brian is much more confrontational, much more like, let's trim the fat, let's, make sure that we're not getting
confrontational, but like out of context confrontational, where people are like, what the hell am I even
I'm
like, what?
I can agree that that's not an approach that most people, most people probably don't really even know who David Sirota is, other than that guy who goes on podcasts sometimes, right? So, but overall, like, can we agree that we mostly agree on actual political stuff? Is that possible to agree on?
For the most part, other than the fact that Brian's now like retweeting like Kenny from K-Hive and the most like toxic individuals, when he talks about these cyber colonies and people controlling thought, K-Hive and the Hillbots, those were actually that is controlling the narrative. Those accounts are boosted by bots. The K-Hive toxicity that he's okay with, but meanwhile he's condemning supposed G-Hive and all these other cyber colonies. Meanwhile, he's now joining and retweeting the absolute worst individuals who like curse AOC, complete misogyny against her, against Nina Turner, literally people who have said like that Bernie can suck their whatever, like the most disgusting individuals on earth, people who called Bernie a fake Jew. Now Brian is aligning with these people, but supposedly to defeat fascism. I don't see how that's defeating fascism to join a bunch of
K-Hive sucks,
rabid lunatics.
But like, other than K-Hive sucking, like I don't know, man. Sometimes I retweet libs. I don't like check every account, So I mean it.
Sure. Sure, but not Kenny from K-Hive. Not a guy who like literally is like spitting at the mouth, screaming about AOC and Bernie. And
I'll be honest, Geoff. I did not like Kenny.
No, there's no liking him. He's a horrible person.
I can like who I want.
But we're not going to agree. And I find it bizarre if you're supposedly a supporter of AOC and you're a supporter of all these causes, but you're going to now.
Let me just say this. I'm a supporter of AOC, but I think AOC needs a lot more Timothy Snyder in her life, because Timothy Snyder tried to nudge and let the squad and progressives know about Russia and know that Russia is the gravest threat to democracy in the world and that Putin is kind of like the next Hitler, right? He tried to gently say in a tweet, he's like, here's what progressives know. And then he talked about how Russia's campaign against LGBTQ has been going on for 10 years, and how Russia Putin exhumed the corpse of Ivan Ilyin in Europe to give the fascist philosopher a proper reburial in Moscow in 2005. Maybe learn about that. I'm a little upset with AOC. I'm a little upset that AOC and many squad members, right, voted with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz a couple months ago over the anti-war issue. I'm concerned about that. Yeah, I'm really concerned.
So
I think you should be too.
Can we
Geoff.
be clear? So we don't agree on most political stuff.
I don't know, Andrea. I don't.
All right,
fucking
let me
know.
just.
I don't think Brian has like he just like whatever annoys him that day, he'll like spitefully join up with that group just to like he was even like retweet. He was literally retweeting door people and trying to engage them to attack me.
That's
so yeah,
incorrect.
You would.
There was
that
an
is
account
correct.
called
That
Geoff
is correct.
My ass, right? And I didn't know that it was like a door thing, and I immediately, as soon as I found out, and as soon as someone told me, I unretweeted that account.
Okay. All right, so let's try to hit like a final note here.
Final thing. Geoff has occasionally mocked me because of my professed love of disco. I just want to say this. I was radicalized politically by disco and funk and hip hop. I grew up on that shit. It was a music founded and created by black queer revolutionaries, a black queer revolutionary art that made the celebration of sex, hedonism, racial equality, and gay pride mainstream from 1975 onward. Hence the theme of our channel, Geoff.
I'm not a big fan of disco. Honestly, I think disco kind of like was like superficial and glitzy. I mean, I don't know about these deeper things you want to talk about.
There's a book called Love Will Save the Day, and it talks about the difference between the underground, right, the origins of disco, and then how popular it became.
Pop disco sucks, in my opinion. I mean, I do like the Bee Gees. I like some Bee Gees stuff.
Hey, you like the white stuff. That's fine, dude. But the theme of our channel, because it's
I just said I named one disco group I know of, okay? Because I don't like disco.
Would calling a Jewish man white be anti-Semitic? Is this? Can we get?
No. I didn't call Geoff white. I said Bee Gees are white, and that's where Geoff goes when he thinks of disco, because he doesn't have any interest in a black queer revolutionary art form that. That's
America. Not bad faith. That's not a bad faith bullshit argument.
It's just what's happening. So
I like rock and roll. I like the blues.
I like rock and roll, bro. None of that, colored stuff.
Oh god. Whatever, right? Yo, like when you had dreads, but you were like.
I had dreads in. I had dreads. That's a great thing. I had dreads in 1995, as did Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, a noted.
Yeah, but you're not Trent Reznor, and it was still.
I'm not Trent Reznor, so I can't have the dreads.
And he shouldn't have done it.
Ani DeFranco, right? Oh, no,
shouldn't have done it.
Shouldn't have done it, Ani. We're canceling you.
I mean, let's be honest. Who cares? Like what fucking Brian's hairstyle was in like the 1980s. So like I mean, that's
Brian's just super cringe with appropriating other cultures.
In 1995, when the person that put my dreads in was actually a black hairstylist.
My real hair.
The theme of our channel, Getting Down with Disco and Brian, came out of my love of that queer black revolutionary art form. And while I loved disco from the time I was a baby, it wasn't until I read, when I was 10, in an interview with Prince, who, I know.
Dude,
funny.
We've heard this history. Yeah. We've heard this. You love Prince, and that's how you knew to fight fascism or whatever. I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, actually, okay, so Prince, on an interview I read with him, right, introduced me as a 9-year-old, right, to the speeches of Martin Luther King, and he said he preferred listening to those instead of music often. So that made me go find those speeches in the library before the internet existed. Right?
Awesome.
And that's where I first learned the deep-seated evils of my country that most of my relatives, even the good ones, even the progressive liberal ones, didn't talk much about. Right?
Thank God for Prince.
Thank God for Prince. Amen. I'm a Prince disciple. His fearlessness in terms of fighting for justice and equality against gender binaries, right? Homophobia, sexism, racism, capitalism, and militarism is still, Geoff, my North Star. So it's interesting that you have such a problem with me. The visceral reaction of my conservative relatives that they had to my love of Prince and his art is the same as Tucker and Candace's reactions to WAP and Lil Nas X today. It's the same as Vosh's reaction to Kink at Pride, right? They hated Prince because of his sexuality, his femininity, and his blackness, bro. And
you always love to be a victim,
bro.
Okay. All right. Let's.
Sorry, Andrea. I just have to say, like, Geoff is smearing me and mocking my love of disco and shit all over the place, bro.
This is smearing you by saying I don't like disco, and I think it's funny that you're going on and on about disco.
Yeah, I'm going on and on about a black queer revolutionary art form. Yeah. So
okay, cool.
It doesn't matter to you, Geoff, right?
No, it's not. I guess that means I don't care about those things,
I
Brian.
just like the Bee Gees. They're the white people that I like. Anyway, the point is, they hated.
Wow, you're such a sad, disingenuous.
I'm not disingenuous,
I'm sorry.
bro. I'm telling you my own history and how I came to be radicalized by a
okay, all right. I'm stepping in. I'm putting my foot down. My foot, which by the way was rated 5 out of 5 on WikiFeet. So I'm putting it down.
Lovely
So okay, so let's skip the whole hairstyle in 1995 and liking bad disco is racist thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to try to focus on something that we can agree on right now. And so like I want to like obviously I know that y'all are not going to be friends, right? Like that's not going to happen. Let's just be honest, it's not going to happen. But can we get like a ceasefire? Like, is it
by the way,
possible-
I just want to put this out there that before I, asked people to block Brian, before I myself finally blocked Brian, I tried my best to reason with this guy. I tried to say, Brian, please just stop harassing people. Brian, your approach is a little aggressive. Brian, maybe you could get your message across if you do a little of this and stop a little of that. And Brian doesn't care. He just
No. Do a little of what? Do a little of what, Geoff? Tell us.
Stop annoying people. Stop tagging people in like crazy things about Joanne Reed and telling them that they're like fascist if they don't love her show and if they're not watching it and if they're not promoting it, and they're idiots if they like David Sirota and they better go call David Sirota out for being on another show. All this guilt by association. Anyway, Brian, stop. Brian, focus.
Soccer, bro.
Who cares, Brian? Focus.
Wait,
focus.
Andrea,
Focus.
It doesn't matter. Breaking points, Crystal and Soccer,
Oh,
doesn't
God.
matter.
Yeah, like okay,
It
like
doesn't matter that David Sirota is legitimizing fascism.
God.
let me clear up the misconception here.
Ridiculous,
So
bro.
I think what
Ridiculous.
Jeff is trying to say
Brian.
is that they're
Brian.
not reading.
Anyway,
what
I
you're saying.
tried to work with Brian. I tried to help him out. I tried to be like, dude, just stop being aggressive with
You know
people.
what you did,
He
though,
didn't
Jeff?
want to. I
You
even said,
agreed
bro, I
with
wish
me.
you the best.
No,
I
it's
said,
amazing.
I wish you the
agreed
best.
With me. You agreed with me in private, Jeff. And
About what?
I have about David Sirota. I have the full DM.
No, I did not.
No, you did.
You
No,
manipulated
you did.
that DM. I've seen it. I've seen what you sent me.
No, I'll
The
share
DM
whole
has
thing.
been
I'll go-
manipulated.
You know what I'll do?
Not that he edited it, but he
On
didn't
the
give full
next-
context.
No, on the next stream, right? We'll go through
No,
the
doing
DMs
streams about me, weirdo. Stop.
No,
Dude,
bro,
I'm not
bro.
gonna watch. I don't care. No
I
one's
don't
gonna
care that
watch.
you're not gonna watch. I know no
No
one's
one
gonna
will watch.
I know. I'm pointless and everything I do is dumb.
Okay. Maybe one person. You're gonna have
that's fine.
your friend that join you and sit there, and he doesn't pay attention. He literally, by the way, you have a guy on to sit there. He pays no attention to what you're saying, has no clue what you're talking about. Looks so bored.
Ask him.
He's like,
I will ask.
he literally looks lost and like he cannot wait to get the hell out of there. Brian, please stop torturing this man. Please stop torturing this poor guy talking about me.
Do you see
So-
this,
talking
Andrea?
about.
Do you see this?
Let's
This is
on the
interesting,
note of
isn't it?
being tortured. Let's try to get back in something. Okay, so y'all are not friends. You will never
I just don't
be
care
friends.
anymore.
Right. Okay. So let me clear up the thing about David Sirota. I think David Sirota going on Breaking Points is bad and dumb. I think Breaking Points sucks, and he shouldn't do that.
I think Breaking Point
think
sucks too. Yeah.
David Sirota
But
does do
Jeff
good
can't
work
say that it's
now and again,
cringe.
and I feel like his good work is getting, harder to really respect because of his weird alliances with certain kind of things. But I know his position is like, I want to get this story to as many people as I can, and that's his reasoning, and I just disagree. But I don't think David Sirota is all bad. But also, Jeff is saying that people aren't reading they're not reading what you're saying. They just see like they see imagine instead of your text, it's like just a giant green image or something, like a color that triggers them. Right? They're not reading what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
All they're noticing is this weird guy I don't like is tagging me, and that's it. That's the end. Like, they're not reading your argument. They're not looking at your video, right? Like, the fact that you tweeted at them is annoying, right? And that's just something we got to live with, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to find a way to have these conversations in an appropriate context. And and maybe we can try to do that on a stream, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But I think
by
that's the
by
stem
way,
of all this. Like, that's the root of it.
And Andrea, if I could, I would, and I'm, I want to believe that all of these friends of Geoff are real, good faith people that he speaks for. Apparently, because he's telling me what they do. They don't do this. They don't do that. because I'm cringe or whatever. But of course he's not like their leader.
I'm saying what I witnessed.
He's saying what he witnessed
on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm watching what you do and your interactions, and I see why people are annoyed.
Yeah. And sometimes when I say Ghive, and I make a comment about Ghive, someone not from Ghive, but from Ghive, will come up and go, I haven't tweeted this, a couple of them, that go, we're not, we're not like that with you. You just need to like not be so cringe. It's like they speak as a part of Ghive to let me know that, yeah, we do agree that you're cringe and we are a thing, but we're not a thing.
A lot of people do agree you're cringe, yes.
Yeah, but see what they do? They speak for the group, right? But then they're not part of the group because the group isn't real.
I said a lot of people agree you're cringe. I mean, that's just people, not a group of, like a set group.
I don't know if it's people, because most of these people don't have shows to show that they're actual real people like Andrea does.
Because people have real... Brian, remember Timothy Snyder and the 3D world that we're supposed to live in? Most people live there. Most people are outside living a life. They have a family. They have friends. They don't have time to sit there obsessing in the weeds with you over random shit that you give them no context to understand.
Plenty of context.
You've given me context. Actually. I've sadly had to sit through all the context, but most people don't know the context, and they are like, "What the hell is this fucking dude talking about?"
So
it's crazy.
So let's just talk about the Ted Cruz video. Politically engaged people who are following the Supreme Court justice hearing, the first African American Supreme Court justice, in history, right? And people who are following
so much identity politics.
Identity politics. Do we notice that? Oh,
that's all you do, politics. Dude. You clutch to that. You're like clinging
Black
to it.
Black people, gay people.
That's your shield. Bro. No one's telling them to shut up. Nobody's telling them to shut up.
All right.
You
okay.
are using them as a shield.
You can see this, right? Yeah, I'm anti-racist because I am descended from a monster, right? And I am descended from someone as evil as the German Nazis.
Yikes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I am. And I'm doing everything in my power, right, to abolish and cut out that evil, atrocious part of my family tree that I have no
live a
responsibility
life,
for.
man. You're not
live a life, man. Live a life.
Why are you
Fascism rising.
You're feeling guilty. You're guilty about your past history, is what I'm hearing.
No, not my past history. My family. I mean,
your family,
and the legacy of racism in America. Yeah, that's something I think more white people should be a little more concerned about.
No, nobody's saying they shouldn't be.
No, it's identity politics, bro. It's identity politics.
No, the way you do it, the way
I do it is identity politics. Because saying
like a child.
Actually, like a child, right? Actually,
that's how you're acting, dude.
Okay. Actually, Joy-Ann Reid, the only black, female.
Oh God.
On cable news, who's a liberal or a progressive, I am doing it, bro. I'm doing it. And I made a cute little video of you and your private conversations with me about how Joy-Ann Reid is an anti-Semite.
That's normal.
It is normal. Because you know what I compared it to? You know what I compared it to? Her interview with Art Spiegelman about Mouse and how it was being taken out of... Now, the interesting thing, you said that you were a big fan of Art Spiegelman, right?
Yes.
He's one of your favorite authors.
I've actually seen him speak in person.
You know what?
And he spoke right before Bernie in Miami at a book fair, actually.
It's amazing. That's awesome. And he went on Joy-Ann Reid, for some reason, didn't bring up the fact that, according to you...
Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's not up to date on everything that goes on Twitter. Dude, he's not following Twitter like you, like an obsessive...
Right.
Okay, so let's try to reframe the Joy-Ann Reid thing. So Brian's argument... Let's start with Jeff's argument. Joy-Ann Reid is canceled because of her body language segment... And
which Geoff had
multiple things. Multiple things. Jeff
was
not just that.
Jeff was the OG body language expert. I have a video coming out. Jeff on Tim Black talking about Debbie Wasserman.
Yeah, so much for a ceasefire.
Like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh, she's lying. You can tell. And then we had this great bit where Tim Black says her horns, talks about her horns, and Jeff's like, no, her lies. And we all know it. The Borat joke about Jews have horns, right?
Yeah, my mother, that happened to my mom when she grew up in Georgia, but thanks, Brian, for your history lesson.
Well, anyway,
you're really getting...
Brian's argument is that Joy Reid is, better than she was, and she's getting better, and she's having a lot of good members of Congress, like Cori Bush, on frequently to espouse their very left-wing positions. And I think that that's good. I don't watch mainstream media. I know it has a lot of influence on a lot of people, and I try to be a little bit vaguely aware of what's going on there. But I don't watch at all. So I'm only going off of other reports.
But according to Brian, then you're a horrible person because you need to watch.
No, that's not.
You need to watch.
That's not it.
You got to watch Joy. You're not watching Joy.
All right, Brian, fill us in.
So got it. So Geoff, what concerns me about anybody on the left doing though, right, is using the same invective against the mainstream media, the liberal press, the blah blah blah, right? That Trump uses. That Trump uses.
No, but we're not doing that.
No,
Brian, you want a little history lesson, Brian? While the primary 2016 was going on, Joy-Ann Reid on MSNBC, the whole channel was basically anti-Bernie. But Joy-Ann Reid was specifically... Brian, can we finish the reason? Brian,
let Geoff finish. Let Geoff finish.
Brian, so during that time period, people were really upset because they saw the negative and basically misleading coverage Joy-Ann Reid was giving Bernie, and we were documenting it. And not only that, Joy-Ann Reid at some point actually jumped in and tried to get me ratioed by her talk about a cyber colony. I had literally thousands of people in my mentions going insane because Joy-Ann Reid decided to jump in. I don't even remember exactly what it was about. I called her and a bunch of people corporate shills. So then I had all of them in my mentions going crazy, making weird jokes, la ha ha. This is a professional woman that you think is an amazing person who has a television show on national television doing this, going in and trying to do Twitter ratios on people, acting like a child. Okay, so this is Joy-Ann Reid at that time. So wait, let me finish. So Joy-Ann Reid's doing that, and then you go into 2020 where she has the body expert person come on, where she continues...
With Tim Black.
Not what I did at all. Absolutely not what I did.
I'll show you the next video. You'll see it. You'll see yourself.
No, I won't watch. I won't watch. I don't care, Brian. I'm not going to watch it.
I will watch it. I'll come out and say it. I'll watch it.
If you want to see a cool video, it's really cute and funny. And
Brian, I will say this. Please stop making videos about me. It's insane. It's stalker. It doesn't make any sense. You're not helping. Brian, you're not helping anti-fascist. You're not doing anything to help the world. You're actually bullying people and harassing people, furthering doing that by doing this. You're not helping anti-fascism.
But what
you're actually helping the fascists. You're actually helping the fascists, Brian. You're doing it. That's what you're doing, and you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. As you said earlier, you're old. You're wasting valuable years you've got left doing this.
That's cute.
Get to work. Where I'm sitting, both of you voted in the year 2000, so, Geoff, maybe look in the mirror, buddy. Hey.
I'm saying I quoted him. I didn't call him old. I said Brian said.
Silly. I got it. And so here's what's fun. Here's what's fun, though. I know exactly. In fact, at the end of that thread, there's a thread where I show all the videos. I know the tweets, Geoff, and the one tweet that you mentioned there. Where you talk about Joy-Ann Reid I think it was a tweet from 2017. You shared a tweet of Joy-Ann Reid sharing an article about Glenn Greenwald and Edward Snowden and how we should be skeptical of them because it documents, this is back in 2014, all of their suspect associations.
Cool.
You used that tweet. You're talking about that year, right? You're talking about in 2017 to trash Joy-Ann Reid, right?
Okay.
For sharing information about the
time.
1 second, bro.
Brian, at that time, those people were supporting.
No. At the time, Glenn Greenwald was a monster. Okay, and Edward Snowden was a
Glenn Greenwald has me blocked on Twitter, and I have called him out multiple times since 2000. Brian, that was 5 years ago. What is wrong with you? That was 5 years ago. That's half a decade. You were almost young then. You were almost young.
That's a cute joke. But what I'm saying is that was what you were spending your time doing.
Okay,
right?
and I've rectified the situation by now being very staunchly against these type of figures and calling out their actions.
Let me ask you
I don't have to now call out David Sirota or I'm now not doing enough.
That's fine. So let me ask you this. Can you say, can you admit right now, though, that maybe Joy-Ann Reid had a
Joy-Ann Reid has had a bias. She is in a group chat of her own of all these big MSNBC libs and their follower like Debbie. What's her name? Deborah Messing.
I just want to say, I want to jump in and say that, like, I hope Joy Reid is watching, and if you are, can you please invite me on your show?
That'd be very good for all of us. But Geoff, in 2017, right? Joy-Ann Reid, leftists like us believed that Glenn Greenwald was A-OK and Edward Snowden. I championed him. I bought his autobiography, right? But it turns out, seeing what they've been doing lately, right? And then if you look back on like what Glenn Greenwald was doing with The Intercept right up into the lead up of 2016 and how he was trashing Hillary every day. And that was one of the first engagements I had on Twitter with an old account was Glenn Greenwald telling me, get the fuck out of here, you fucking pest, right? Because I was like, dude, why are you doing all this? Like, we
but he got the pest part right.
Okay, yeah, he's got a lot more right with where you've been, Geoff. But all I'm trying to say is Joy-Ann Reid was exposing what you've realized now, as you say, 5 years or 4 or 5 years before.
But she got a lot wrong, Brian. She got one thing that was maybe right because she's kind of putting a warning out there because she's literally was like a wing of Hillary's campaign and he's attacking Hillary. It's so shocking. She called him out. Wow, it's so crazy. She called him out back then when she was supporting Hillary and he wasn't and he's attacking her. Wow, she called him out. Brian, come on, bro. This is also fucking 5-6 years ago that you're dwelling on just to try to get a gotcha.
Let's be real. You did bring up his dreads in 1995 at one point. So, you know,
95 to 96.
Wait,
95 to 96.
For reference, I was born in 1996. So Brian had dreads when I started living on this earth.
Brian thinks he looked like Jennifer Aniston in 1996, apparently.
That's cute. So no, that's cute. But just on that last topic, the only reason I brought that tweet up.
By the way, I really only have 15 minutes left because I'm going to dinner. So 8 o'clock, I gotta.
I appreciate it. Okay. I appreciate it. And the only thing I wanted to
Shabbat
mention,
Shalom, Brian. Shabbat Shalom to your wife.
So I will. Thank you. But the only thing that I wanted to say is that the reason that I did bring that tweet up was because you were referencing it yourself. So it just reminded me that I had seen that tweet that you brought up first in this conversation in the context of how Joy-Ann Reid was bad. And now people can go look at that tweet.
She's still pretty, like, Brian, like, I'm happy she is moving. I'm happy she's having, like, better guests on. But, like, she literally got caught lying about hackers on her blog.
I know.
She lied. She's a liar. I'm just straight up a liar.
So here's the interesting thing about that.
Kept that line. Said there's an FBI investigation. Nobody's seen the investigation report, by the way.
So check this out.
Brian.
Check this out. The way that I look at it,
we'll check it.
And maybe this is like shit lib fucking what do you call it? Identity politics of me. This is really bad of me to do. But the way it probably is. But the way that I see people like Joy-Ann Reid, right? And yeah, I can't really not see race, right? I have to kind of acknowledge that people like her have not been traditionally in positions that she's in right now. And so the reason that I'm a little more forgiving of her than someone like, I don't know, one of the bad people that we used to think was on our side, like Taibbi or something.
She was literally calling Charlie Crist, who could be the person who goes up against Ron DeSantis. She was making fun of him and claiming he was gay in her blog posts. And I think that's a bad thing. Is that a bad thing, Brian?
And that's from 10 years ago.
But Andrea, Brian, you love going back in time. You like going back in time and dwelling and obsessing on
we all wish we had time machines, but
the reason that I'm doing it though, Geoff, is because unlike me and unlike Andrea, I haven't seen you kind of go, oh, actually all of this hatred that I'm spewing at Joy-Ann Reid for being a slime ball and blah 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 blah, you've never like retracted and gone, you know, actually, like you're still not doing it right now.
Did she ever apologize? Has she yet? She still claims she was like hacked.
So once again, I go back to the thing about how it's much more difficult for people of color, especially black women, to assume roles like the one Joy-Ann Reid has now.
Dude, she said all Jewish people are rich and like have rappers at their weddings.
She was talking about a Bush.
She said Jews are like war hungry. She said Jews are war hungry in one post.
She was talking about a Bush administration official specifically.
But a Jewish person who's war hungry.
Okay, well, yeah, her blog posts fucking suck. That I think we can agree
guilt by
on that.
association, Brian.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's cringe. And Geoff, I'm going to tell you, brother, I did horrible, stupid shit, and I do stupid shit all the time, okay? Because I'm human, right? I do when I'm called out for something that I did horrible. I do try to say, God damn it, that's horrible, and I need to do better, right?
And I've done that on multiple posts, talking about about Jill Stein, talking about Jimmy, talking about all these people, Tim Canova. I literally in live on Twitter, you can go back. I went at it with Tim Canova during the 2018 election and told him what he posted was anti-Semitic, which got Tim Canova to start saying, I am controlled by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I really secretly work for Debbie Wasserman Schultz, to which he then retracted and apologized. And I have DMs where he says he cried because he felt so bad about what he did. And he regrets it, and all this different stuff,
news.
Brian.
You made Tim Canova cry? Because that's actually pretty cool.
Apparently.
That's cool.
And what year was that? What year was that?
2018. 2018.
And then in 2020, after he cried and had this tender moment, he then endorsed Trump? Is that?
Yeah, but by then I had already constantly been calling out that he is helping right-wingers, and that he's basically doing what Jimmy Dore is doing now, or has been starting to do, but he was doing it way back then. I called him out. I have the DMs. I shared them with Andrea, where I said, dude, you are literally helping right-wingers.
You shared it with me, and it was good. It was good. I appreciate that. But
and I shared it with you, too.
No, you did. And that's great.
But Brian, I thought I'm secretly working for Russia and...
Right. Well, I mean, and again, if Tim Canova weren't following Obsessive Weirdo, my stalker account, it would seem a little more legit. But there he is, and it's kind of like, so he's kind of watching. Yeah,
I have not spoken to Tim Canova probably since 2018. When he blocked me.
Last thing, Geoff. Last thing, if I could.
All right. Last thing. I'm going to hold you to that, though.
Thank you. I promise. Geoff, what's your opinion of Peter Hager, the co-host of Jen Perlman's show?
I've known Peter probably since 2016. We're friendly here and there. We were definitely friendly when Bernie was running. We were pretty friendly when Tim was running in 2016. I was still pretty friendly with him, not hanging out on a day-to-day basis, but if I saw him at a political event, we would definitely chat. Probably up
Andrew
to 2000.
Gillum, you guys are in some pictures together with the 21 federally indicted.
With Andrew Gillum, 2000. Andrew Gillum. Yeah. The guy running against Ron DeSantis.
Right.
The first the person to come the closest to defeating him. How would we know what he's doing?
How would that been if he had been federally indicted as governor?
I mean, still better than DeSantis, I guess.
Okay, all right. Let's skip the Gillum thing.
So skip the Gillum thing. I just wanted to ask.
You want to know about Peter Hager? Yeah. Okay. He's somebody I know.
Right. Can you? I'm going to almost directly quote him, if not direct. Actually, the quote is, and he said this to Kim Iverson. What are your opinions of Kim Iverson, really quick? A to B or A to F? What do you think she is? A, B, C, D, E, F.
She's horrible. I don't like her at all.
You an F. Okay, cool, great, me too.
Sure.
So, in an interview with her, Jen and Peter talked about how Tim Pool, who has a farm, is a lot more left. He's a super leftist because he's a hippie. They had this whole logic of lefties or hippie, that.
He's
kind of
horrible.
Thing. So no, and Peter was saying that, and then I noticed Peter said, the thing is that I've been saying a long time is that anti-corporate, he phrased it right, anti-corporate libertarians and progressives have more in common than they don't. And everyone went, yeah, they do. So I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, AOC and Rand Paul, a lot in commine there. Oh, and then
I disagree completely with him on that.
And then after that, he talked about how Mike Lee and Rand Paul will always support our civil liberties and will always be against war, right? And he said this as the Ukraine thing was happening. So,
disagree.
and then also another interesting thing is that on the show with Savage Joy, where Jen Perlman called you a dick, he defended you, and he said Geoff Campbell is a friend of mine.
That was brave of him.
That was.
I'll give him credit because he was on there with
Savage Joy.
He was and Pat, the two
Yep.
Jimmy Dore sycophants.
Yeah.
Literally, Pat the Burner constantly was one of these people going, I don't care about Jimmy Dore. He's not. Meanwhile, literally, I knew from way back being in group chats with him that he was in chats with Jimmy. He retweets Jimmy. All these people are full of it. They don't like Jimmy, but they need him for the retweets. But anyway, yeah, Pat the Burner and Joy, two Jimmy Dore people who had been smearing me and using the G-Hive smear, which you now love. Against me, claiming I control thousands of people online. Peter had enough.
He seemed to.
And even though Peter is friendly with them, Peter had enough balls to say, no, not.
Yeah, and then he mentioned
controlling
something in that
thousands of
conversation
people.
that was a really interesting thing. He said, Geoff Campbell, and he praised you for it. He said Geoff Campbell went in and found out that the Krasenstein brothers were operating this troll farm in Miami, and he was you were the guy that.
Here.
Yeah, and you were the guy that stopped it. And I thought that was interesting because all I remember from the Krasenstein brothers was that they were kind of progressive, promoting liberal.
Not at all.
They were promoting liberal stuff though.
They got caught with servers
fascist,
in their house.
Right?
They got caught cheating the system and boosting their tweets with literal your cyber colony that you're so excited about. They got caught, and that's why they're banned from Twitter.
I didn't hear that.
Right.
That's funny.
But yeah,
that's interesting that you found that, which is
they literally were raided. By the way, I'm pretty sure raided by the FBI, if not the police department in South Florida. Just so you know, but these are great progressives you're talking about.
I mean, all I saw was their tweets, and I was like, oh, I kind of agree with most of their tweets.
They were literally Hillbots that just
right.
All they did was
talk,
support Hillary and bash Bernie. That's it.
The thing about the Hillbots thing, though, bro, is that I keep coming back to this thing, your tweet about Jill.
I'll be right back.
I think Geoff has to go soon.
No, I'm coming back. I'll be right back.
Okay, great.
But yeah, let's just try to wrap this up.
Let's try to wrap it up.
If you want, Brian, after Geoff leaves, you can say a couple more things before we stop. But
okay, hon. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sorry about.
No, but Geoff,
I had to answer the person who's going to dinner with me and let them know, that I'm still.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
On a live stream.
I really do, and I'm sorry, man. I really don't want to see what I see, the patterns that I see. And I really would. It would be dope. I mean, I guess if I was, you have relations with people, and it's if you did what you could to call them off about me. And maybe apologize to Jessica Aro for accusing me of being a monster that I'm not, or something.
Well, Brian,
that would be dope, bro.
But it would be dope if you stopped editing weird videos, propaganda videos about me.
I'm not gonna stop editing videos at all.
About me, dude. I'm talking about me. Not you can edit.
All right, let's try to get an agreement. Brian, would you be willing to cease production on G-Hive videos for the time being if Geoff asks his people to just lay off of you? Is that something? Sure. Is that a compromise we can make?
Sure. I mean, that is an indication of Geoff's power over his people. But I mean, so it's it's this catch-22.
I can do that. I mean, the catch here is that I can ask people to go, to chill. But again, maybe I have done that in the past. It's not, again, I cannot control. This is the funny thing. Yeah, I have some people that I'm friends with that are closer friends, and I still can't control them, but I could be like, dude, this is probably best if we leave them alone. And maybe I could swing their opinion to be but most of the people I'm really close friends with don't troll you. The other people that I'm friendly with and we agree with a lot of politics that might be doing weird harassment or calling you names or doing whatever you're really upset about, I cannot control them. When you bug them... First of all, you did a video about her. She's a person. If she found
what video about Scarlet Red.
Oh, I thought you did. Maybe you didn't. All I know, I can't keep track of what you're doing or of all the people you're after. But I can tell you this: I can't control her. She's a grown woman.
Okay.
She's her own opinion.
Very
I can give her. I can say,
me.
I can tell her, maybe you should refollow, and maybe you should leave Brian alone. But maybe she would leave you alone if you weren't tagging her in, weird stuff. And you are tagging.
I never tagged her in any weird stuff.
Not you.
This was a smear campaign against me. I've been smeared. I've been unjustly. I don't know, but it wasn't good.
Same, Andrea.
All right, Brian, I want to say something real quick before you go.
Go ahead.
Would you, if we can get, if everyone shuts the fuck up about how bad your videos are or whatever, and, and you agree not to, just tag, those people, right? The people that have explicitly expressed, whatever, maybe we can wait a year, maybe whatever, but, if we can agree to a ceasefire, right, and then you can start putting all of your energy into videos that, more stuff about Ted Cruz, for example, because he said
just leave the kids out of it
at CPAC, and Donald Trump or whatever.
It's going to be hard if Ted Cruz does another obsessive child porn event, which he might well do. But yeah, I'll definitely keep images of kids gathered around Ron DeSantis signing the anti-gay bill. Yeah, I'll keep them out of the videos. But yeah. I mean, sure. And here's the thing, Geoff.
Yep.
I was excited as hell that Jessica Aro agreed to the interview, and then you told her not to do the interview with me, right? It'd be great if you could send her another thing and say, hey, Brian's getting a lot of shit from, and if you did that, dude, I would, and I'm sorry that, this thing happened or something. I don't know, man. But I'd really like to interview her about what Putin's trolls do so that we can know as Americans, because they're operating in America.
Brian, this is the thing, maybe that I would agree with, literally, she should be informing people about this.
She was going to come on our show.
But you're harming that cause because you are literally accusing people who aren't Russian trolls or bots of being that. Therefore, you are harming the actual good and cause of informing people of that. You're what's called crying wolf. So when people cry wolf, when the actual wolf shows up, everyone doesn't want to listen to him. And I feel like that's kind of what's happened to you a lot in general on Twitter.
I think, Geoff, personally that you are associated with some very troubling people, right?
Who's the most troubling?
Maybe Forrest Miller, who issued.
We'll talk about Forrest another time.
Had his account deleted suspended because he issued a death threat and said, "Hey, I'll bully you into an early grave" to Bella Chaos. Neat guy.
Do you want to talk about Bella and what she's done?
We'll talk about Bella another time, Geoff. You got to go to dinner. Okay.
Dinner. I got extra 15 minutes, but we don't have to talk about her.
Fuck, we got 15 more minutes. All right, y'all.
We won't talk about Bella.
I'm getting picked up at 8:30.
But Geoff, let me just say this, dude. I will take what I've learned from this experience. If you call off the guards and get people to stop harassing me and stalking me with this account, right? If you have that power, maybe you don't. But if you do, I promise you, I will not say your name, right? If I get an interview with Jessica or anyone else who knows anything about disinformation and how it works and how it's how Russia does its thing, I will never use your name or say Geoff. I will refer to what I believe to be maybe a cyber colony operating on Twitter that I've experienced and speak of those things without you involved. Maybe I'll talk about Frank Brian, the Socialist or Socialist Cat Dad or somebody.
Whoever you want to. But the thing here, Brian, just for your own good and for just to help you here, what Timothy Snyder is talking about when he's mentioning a cyber colony, which I agree with him. I think that a cyber colony action did help fix the 2016 general election.
Snyder attributes a lot of that to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange.
And I do, and I did, and I covered a lot of the emails that were in WikiLeaks and posted them, and at the time.
But you were posting them in favor of WikiLeaks. So that's kind of but yeah,
exactly. No, yeah, I know. I let me get there. At the time, I was, because the information, which was still true, was very upsetting to learn, and which I do think that I think Julian Assange, I do believe that a Russian cyber colony, or whatever you want to call it, did help promote those tweets and promote that disinformation, and did try to upset the Bernie. I think I will admit that I'm not innocent of falling victim to them.
Me too, Geoff. Geoff, me too, bro. I didn't. Can I just say this really quick? You got
go real quick. Go.
You got time.
Dude. When Warren, the accusations, right, of her being a snake, and all the people that twittered, oh, you're spoiling it for Bernie. I believed that she was a snake. Like, I was that convinced that she was screwing it up. And Geoff, I was also, because I was watching Rising a lot, I was also going, this woke shit is a little too much, this identity politics, that's what woke shit is, that Sagar hates so much, that you seem to not be all that into.
It depends how you're using it. If it's natural, sure.
I think identity politics is important, because I think intersectionalism is all that is, which is recognizing gender, sexual orientation, race, and economics, like looking at it all, unlike David Griscom and Ben Burgess. But the thing
I have no connection to, by the way.
I know, and I'll tell you what, man, I'd much rather be spending my time finding fun stuff to do with them. but I'm doing it with you, Geoff, because you're up until now I've been doing it with you because you're a real person. You're not one of these online figures, and I think that what troubles me is your track record and what, I'll be honest, man, and Andrea, you might have, you might be on Geoff's side with this, but I'm the reason I like Kenny now.
Oh God, dude, he's paid. He's a paid troll. So you like a paid troll because he's saying stuff you like and we don't like.
Let Brian finish his thought.
Continue. Can go.
Thank you. The reason is because it's probably likely. Well, number one, the most people who like Kamala Harris are black women, right? That's
debatable.
Well, according to polls, but yeah, polls or whatever. But the likelihood is that she's probably going to be the nominee, and if Biden goes the way we're thinking he's going, right? And so if we're doing now what a lot of Bernie bros, myself included, did in 2016 and 2020, and starting to just go, fuck her, Hyde is the enemy, Kamala is the enemy, then what's going to happen is we're going to invite a very dangerous thing. We're going to invite.
I see what your worry is, but I'm.
You see what I mean?
I see what you mean, but I'm also more worried that I just think Kamala is a losing candidate. Like, regardless of what my friends on Twitter.
I think Kamala Harris is garbage. I think I call her garbage. I think I use more colorful language as well. But I mean, she has the capacity to not be garbage, and I also don't support. A lot of the right wings, shit against her is racist, and I don't support that at all.
For sure.
My male relative that I won't name,
who may or may not be your father, or related to your father in some way,
has the same kind of reaction, only tiny bit worse, as he had to Obama, who he says is the most racist president we've ever had, all this shit, right? The racists in my family despise people like Kamala, Joy-Ann Reid, right? And yeah, Nina Turner too, right? But that's why identity is important to me. Identity politics, being woke, I mean, look at their.
But Brian, I mean, I agree with you.
Look at C. Go ahead.
The problem is that it's not about I'm not gonna like someone because other people get racist about them. I'm still gonna take them at the value of them as a person. And if I think that she is a candidate that can't win, regardless if I don't even like her policies, and we need to beat DeSantis or Trump may be in prison, who knows? But if it's not Trump, it's gonna be DeSantis. And I don't think she matches up that well with DeSantis. So it's not that I'm going to be trashing her if it does end up being her versus DeSantis. But until that moment, I think we should put some pressure and use some leverage to try to get a candidate that could actually beat him.
Here's the thing, and here's the fucking 5-dimensional chess, right? And this is the thing that Greenwald, back before we all recognized he's been a Nazi the whole time, but we all thought he was cool because of the Snowden shit. This was my concern. It's like, and Geoff, I've seen tweets of yours right after Bernie dropped out, and I know you were full of hatred and anger. I was too. A lot of it was coming from Rising. I will say that was when I was listening to Rising, and like daily, and they had really good monologues, and they kind of convinced me. I was kind of like, maybe Sauger, maybe right-wing populism isn't fascism. Maybe he was talking about economic populism and Crystal Ball, both of them doing it, and they had me and Katie Halper and Matt Taibbi on Useful Idiots. I was listening to them so much, right? Because again, Michael Brooks, Nina Turner, Chuck Rocha, all these people liked them and went on their shows, right? I was like,
they were looking for exposure on shows.
Sure. And I was like, you know what? Fuck. Maybe you should teach the Democratic Party a lesson. I just won't vote. I
honestly felt at the very moment when he dropped out, I did feel like I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to let it get into my head too much. By the way, what Twitter and social media does when you're talking about quote unquote groupthink.
Yes.
I let the
Thank
anger
you, Geoff.
and
Me
the
too,
rage.
Brother. Me
Okay,
too.
And then I realized when I stepped away, when I talked to people in the 3-dimensional world, when I talked to people that their lives might be impacted by the policies of the individuals, like Donald Trump, like my own girlfriend and certain people in my life,
and
my friend
Did you just say own girlfriend? What is this misogynistic language?
My own girlfriend, not that I own her.
I cannot believe you right now.
Not owned, but owned.
Not owned, just own my own.
I got you, Geoff. Good faith, baby. Good faith.
Thank you.
So Geoff, right now.
And Andrea. My friend, by the way, we are. And also, I will mention this because it is important. My friend Jack Lieberman, who was a huge Bernie supporter in 16 and 18, and he called himself a communist. I don't know, but he in 16 and 18 did warn all of the people, all the local friends that were supporting Bernie. There was a huge group of us, sometimes like around almost 50 people that would always get together for Bernie watch parties. He would push back against all of us who were like during the Hillary campaign, where we were like, well, we hate her. We're not voting for her. He would be like, you got to vote for her. I'm a communist and I'm still voting for her. And he was old school because he's 70.
Bro. Geoff,
Brian, can you restart your webcam? You're frozen.
Oh, sorry.
Geoff, real quickly, to finish that though.
That is Disco Ball's dad is the exact same way. He's a lifelong union, organizer, and he feels the exact same way. Again, despises Jill Stein, right? and Geoff, my wife's dad, when I gave him Road to Unfreedom, right? Because my wife's dad is kind of been an apologist for the Soviet Union, right? He's kind of like Richard Wolff and David Griscom. He kind of sees it with rose-colored glasses and like, oh no, they totally fought capitalism and they were great. And it's like, yeah, they banned rock and roll and they banned fun and they were patriarchal monsters and yeah, it was state capitalism. But he, like, until he read Road to Unfreedom, he had no idea, right? Now he's reading Bloodlands. He had no idea just how evil the Soviet Union was. And now it's like, he's 70 and he's completely flipped. But he's the same way as this guy who's like, yo,
you gotta vote.
You gotta vote for lesser evil. Right, yeah.
And basically, great, the long story short, which does take a little sad note, but he wanted everybody, he told everybody that he wanted them to vote for Joe Biden against Trump no matter what. And sadly, he passed away because of COVID. He got COVID. And because of that, I mean, that moment and a few other things personally, I really woke up from broke off from the quote unquote groupthink, which then got me stormed and attacked by all the Jimmy Dore people calling me a shit lib and working for the DNC and that I work for the CIA.
Jeff, this is the first time we've talked about this, and we're having a reasonable, kind of almost empathetic, kind of compassionate conversation instead of what we did on DMs or kind of what you did to me with like.
Good thing we had those extra 15 minutes, you know.
But like, dude, this is really refreshing, I must say,
well,
and I really appreciate it that you, maybe you can like kind of re-see what it is I'm trying to do again instead of like hating on my videos.
But it's never been that I don't see what you're doing, and it's not that I don't think you have that you probably have good intentions. My point is the way that you are handling it and the way you are going about interactions with other people who don't see it is not going to get them to see it. The only way you can get somebody to see something is by having a long, or not necessarily long, but a very thoughtful and productive and non-attack strategy when you're talking to them.
Very hard to do on Twitter. And let me tell you why, Geoff.
But it takes time,
very hard.
That's the point. It takes time.
Here's the thing, bro. It's very hard to do on Twitter because some of your closest, whatever, colleagues or not closest, but sort of close, colleagues have done every time I've said, hey guys, David Sirota partnering with Crystal Ball. I mean, you guys have all talked about how Crystal Ball is sus. Like, I know he wrote Don't Look Up and everything, but can you guys, like, do you agree with what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I did this with Katie Halper. I originally started going, hey, Katie.
I know, I remember. By the way, I will say really quickly, when you were going after Katie Halper, and I saw that in the group chat that you were discussing earlier, it's the ferocity at which you go after them. I think you would have convinced even me more so about why Katie Halper isn't great if it wasn't so incisive, so like you don't get people a chance to take in and learn and accept and find out for themselves a little bit, which is what you need to start to do if you want to change the opinion or the climate of opinion. To change the climate of opinion, you can't be abrasive. To change the climate of opinion, you have to kind of say, I see you, I understand, but please hear me out on this. Not tag them nonstop, tell them they're an idiot if they don't watch Joy and Reed, tell them they're an idiot if they don't call out David Sirota for this very specific thing that you're upset about. The point is...
I mean, the thing is, Geoff, and I understand what you're saying, I agree with you, that we should be respectful and we should be calm in our engagements with people.
I agree with this part.
The only problem, though, Andrea, is that, as Bella's banner says, the road to fascism is paved with telling people to chill, bro. You know what I mean?
I mean, the truth with Bella is that
you don't have to talk about Bella, just the idea.
No, I know, but I'm just going to quickly bring up Bella just for 2 seconds, just because she was another individual that may or may not have had some good points, but the way that she handles her act,
not have had some good points.
Some points were not great.
Hold on.
Not wonderful.
One of the points that she made, and again, Walmart Mike and Bella have forsaken me because I came on Andrea's show, so their purity politics is cringe, but their points are amazing. Oftentimes, Mike, lives down the road from me, but told me, yeah, let's hang out, and then
is he down the road at the Walmart?
I wonder why he did it though, because Brian, Mike is up to some sneaky ass shit, and that's just we can dance around it, but that's the truth.
I think personally, I'd like to say Mike is probably up to some cyber colonization, and
Andrea, I don't.
Yes.
Yes. No. I think Mike is too busy pinning amazingly written articles that should be in the Atlantic rather than writing.
He's just upset about a podcast that he's still petty over
So here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Bella and Mike need to let go of framing Andrea in what she did 7 years ago, and then never letting her out of that, and never looking at what she's done since.
You kind of did that.
No. I haven't done that, Geoff.
To me,
Andrea does not. But Andrea does not have a 19,000 followers that when I say, hey, excuse me, class, originally when I started asking these questions about Marianne Williamson, and Katie Halper, and Crystal Ball, they were soft. And I was like, hey, can you explain why you're like trashing AOC and supporting Jimmy Dore and this? Can you? And then, you know what happens, Geoff? It's the same thing that happened with Katie Halper, which is what happened with many of your friends. They either ignore me, and then I ask again in a different way, and then they ignore me again, and I go, okay, I'll ask it a little bit more. But I never, ever, like, I don't think, because my last Twitter account that got suspended for calling Laura Ingraham a C-word Nazi, like, I've learned not to curse on Twitter. But
probably best.
But it's best, and I shouldn't have done that. I was drunk. But I'll say this. I have never used invective or, but people have come at me with pics of cartoon child porn, scat porn, like Chester. Your friend, before, telling me if I ever become like this guy, please shoot me. Those kinds of fun, cute little things.
Yeah, I think the online rhetoric in that sense aimed at Brian I personally think it's way over the top. I think most of the things like, bringing up your Ted Cruz video is, I think, really bad faith. I think if someone that they liked had done the same exact thing, they would defend them and say that YouTube is weird and you can't, so I think that that's weird. But also, like,
probably.
I do think that people, like, they just get that extremely negative vibe, and maybe it's irrational. I think a lot of the times people are always in a bad mood on Twitter, so I do think it is irrational most of the time, but once people see you as, like, spam, right, in their brain, it's like a way that they categorize people, and then they are just going to ignore you. So, like, that first impression really does mean a lot. And if I could make a suggestion, I would say, like being abrasive is great when it's aimed at, like, the hypothetical, right? Like, comedians, like Bill Hicks or George Carlin would aim their grievances at the hypothetical person rather than the individual. And I think that is potentially a better way of going about things. Yep. So that's my suggestion on that front.
I agree. Sure. I agree. But I would just say, Geoff, this is what happens, and this is why I do sympathize with some of Bella's, like, as you call it, like, insane, what is it, the word you use?
Just about Bella, she literally, when she was in one of those DM chats, repeatedly was asked to stop messing with a guy who was doxing a bunch of us and stalking us and putting our private...
Bolshok, what's his name? But yeah.
There's a few of them, but she was asked multiple times, please stop escalating fights with people who are doxing people's families.
Yeah.
Please, Bella, stop doing this because it is harming our mental state in the 3D world.
Yeah.
Okay? And Bella just said, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. Therefore, Bella was ostracized because she cannot even respect a person who she claims to be friends with. She's going to do whatever. She doesn't care if their life will be turned to shit. Because she's got herself all private and hidden and anonymous, and so no one knows who Bella is. So it's great for her that she's anonymous. She doesn't care that actual people who aren't anonymous are having their lives ripped apart, their families threatened. She's going to keep annoying people. So that's why I don't respect anything Bella has to say. She has good points. Because she doesn't care.
I would definitely say that Bella has a lot of very important points. Bella
They're
is
lost.
the person.
They're gone. They're gone.
Not at all. Not at all. Because if it's not about me, right, and it's about us, then I actually believe not me, us. Massively.
I believe in it too. Not me, us. He doesn't.
No, 1 sec. I believe in not me, us more than Bernie. Like, I don't think it's about Bernie. It's about finding a way forward because Bernie's as old as Biden, right? So it's about, and that's why I go to the culture stuff because that's our power. The fascists have no power. The fascists have the military. Fascists have the police. The fascists have arms and weaponry. We have the power of influence, the power of shows on Netflix and music and festivals. We should be weaponizing our power to make kids, future voters and young voters, in the states that are in play, or even those that aren't, kind of go, hey, I kind of like Dolly Parton more than Trump. I mean, again, that's the mission of Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties, right? And it's a thing that could be done, and it's a thing that every real human, when I've been at a rave or something, and we get into a talk, and we're high on Molly or whatever, everyone goes, wait, like, why aren't we doing that already? Like, why isn't that happening already, right? It's like, it's so obvious, right? And then it's like, I try to do it to your friends, and they go, yeah, that's a great idea, but Brian sucks, man. And it's like, and I say, take it from me, steal it, fucking promote it without me, make your own fucking video about it, right?
Like, you have to understand, most people on Twitter are not content creators. Like, the only thing they do on Twitter is shit post and whine about things that they don't know anything about.
Yeah,
right. So pretty much, and you can't
again, Geoff. Just last thing, I just want in Bella's defense, right? As cringy as her way of doing it is, right?
Harassing people nonstop.
Harassing people though, bro. We have to think about harassing, right? As this, it's kind of this thing. Like, people say I harassed. David Sirota says I harassed him, right? Mike says I harassed him. And what did I harass them?
Everyone has a different definition of harassment.
Of harassment, right? And I harassed them with, hey, why are you calling Crystal Ball a great leftist? Like, hey, why are you partnering with Crystal Ball?
Yeah, but we just got to let go of, like, if people like Crystal Ball, what can we do? What can we do?
That's not it. That's not it. Because we as the left have to protect the left, right?
Well, we try our best, but we can't make people, we can't force people.
Well, but no, I agree, we try our best. So trying your best would be, hey, you guys, Brian actually makes a really good point about David Sirota here. Why is he partnering with these bad people that we all know suck? Like, instead of going, oh my God, I'm going to send this cartoon dick pic to Brian and call him a pedo and call him a racist pedo. It's like, hey, like my co-host, who actually, my new co-host, Justin, who I've known for 10 years, like, the reason that he's my co-host is because we got together in Washington Square Park when he came up here with my cousin, and we had this conversation, and he was like, dude, I've wanted to do a podcast for so long. And the crazy cool thing that I've noticed about our video stream, which, by the way, is streaming on YouTube. Andrea, let's put it in the thing if we could. In the show notes or whatever.
Yeah, I'll throw your link in the description. You got it.
Thank you, darling. But here's the thing, Geoff. That guy that you say is so bored, right? I talk to him 3 times a week. We do a show. Like, all of those accusations are wrong. He is up at his job. He's actually, I think, maybe the only person streaming who's actually streaming from his work. He has work where he can do it, right?
Well, I just want to say I stream from my work.
It's your work, though, Andrea. I'm saying he's at work
right now. I'm profiting off of this drama discourse.
I hope so.
Thank you.
But he's this whole working class thing, he's actually working, like, at a job, right? While doing this thing. So he's looking over here.
But he doesn't want to hear about G-Hive. He doesn't care.
He looks lost on it. And we talk about it on the phone. He thinks it's dangerous. He sees everything I've seen. He's watched the Timothy Snyder stuff. The thing is, though, Geoff, you see how energetic I am and how, like, peppy, and I use my hands and people make fun of me for that.
Yeah.
He's not like that. So it's kind of like really cool. It's kind of, to me, I think it's kind of a cool balance because he's like chill and I'm like freaking out. And so, I don't know, it's kind of neat. But I like our vibe, and he does too. But you don't.
Good.
So maybe
I mean, it's you need the vibe. He needs to be more active in the conversation. He seems like he's like fading in and out of it. But maybe it is because he's working.
Hey, that's great constructive. That's constructive feedback, and I'm sure that he will. We will talk about this. So thank you for that. And yeah. So if anybody watching this is like, likes this idea of Not Me, Us Fest democracy parties, the reviving of those Bernie rallies, right? Just think about like the Biden inaugural party mixed with the Bernie rallies, like, and what we could do if there was a way, if there was like financial means from George Clooney and Angelina Jolie and George Soros to do this all over America, right? Like, Geoff, you shared, this is brilliant, you shared Megan Thee Stallion at Glastonbury, right? Where she was like, my body, my motherfucking choice. You shared that. that's and what I love about that, and the Kendrick and the Casey Musgraves and Olivia Rodrigo with Lily Allen doing "Fuck You" to the Supreme Court, the song, it's brilliant. If everyone hasn't seen it, you should watch it. It's the most hopeful fucking thing you'll ever see. The thing that I love about it, bro, is that it proves my case, right? It proves that if we somehow manifested these democracy parties across America, right, with everybody from Dolly and Willie and Bruce Springsteen to fucking Cardi and new vibes, right, Kendrick and everything, if Frank Ocean and Beyonce and shit, if we did this, right, I'm almost convinced that we could defeat the GOP completely, like kill it, right?
Well, I mean, the only problem, Brian, is that I would say is that every election when it's Democrat versus Republican, they trot out all these celebrities and all these artists and all these,
but not festivals, bro.
Some of them are pretty good. I agree, there aren't festivals, but the problem is the other side sees that as like lib, like good. Hollywood bullshit, and that's like good. Part of the divide. That's like literally.
So check this out. I love that, Geoff. I love that. And let me just say this. Every song, this is amazing, right? When you're watching a MAGA rally, every song that they play over their loudspeakers, it's not Kid Rock. I mean, sure, they play Lee Greenwood, Proud to be an American. But they're playing the Stones, they're playing Michael Jackson, they're playing CCR, who hates Trump, playing Elton John, who hates Trump, they're playing fucking all this shit, right? So imagine
big CCR fan, by the way. Big CCR.
I love CCR too. But imagine this, right? Imagine, John Fogerty and Elton John are actually playing down the road. I know those are huge names, but like for democracy, they might do it, you know? Like, oh wow, we can either sit here and watch Donald Trump Jr., you know, wipe his poop-stained fucking facial hair for us all and, you know, do the equivalent of a monkey throwing shit at us, or we could go fucking have a big old fucking party with our whole family at a free fucking concert down there with a bunch of, you know, whatever, like Garth Brooks. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
right?
The festival idea is excellent. And, you know, if that's something that is possible, I support it. I mean, I would go to these festivals provided they're safe for the pandemic. But, like, I think one of the major things is celebrities, and I think most people, but celebrities especially, but most people, like, politics are like, it's like, what movies do you like? You know, like, they don't engage in it. It's just like, oh, yeah, you know, I like this kind of music, or I like this kind of video game, or whatever, right? Like, that's it. Like, it's kind of like an identity. It's a brand thing. And so I think that is like the core root as to why something like this is not more popular.
Right. So I do have to go. By the way, I do have to leave in like 1 minute. So if we want to do any kind of wrap.
Yes, Geoff, you take what you need to say now.
Geoff. Thank you.
So I would say from, you know, I hope the conclusion of this is that we won't be tagging or doing edited videos of, you know, regular people who had tweets from like 4 years ago, and you can kind of move your edited videos to like powerful figures who actually, you know, need to be called out. And
just
not
don't call me a fucking horrible monster for making videos that that the only people in my family who don't like are the fascists. Right.
Well, the
Ted Cruz
I'm just
video.
Saying, like,
nobody said
I'm not
I was,
against
Brian,
your creativity.
Anyway, nobody in my family.
No one's against you being creative. I think we all, you know, most leftists, but most people in general are, you know, happy that you're finding fulfillment and getting creative. It's just where when you gear that creative energy towards kind of like just pounding on like a random person who has no power, it doesn't really, it comes off kind of stalkerish. So I'm just saying, you know, and maybe hopefully.
Hold on. Emma Vigeland has a show. She has a lot of power. She's not an everyday regular person. So I did make a video about her. Again, I went to the fucking show. I went to Majority Report. I'm a fan. I've loved her work ever since she was a Trump reporter on the MAGA.
Just because she doesn't like Nomiki or doesn't, she probably likes her still. But just because she's not supporting her, I mean, that's not fascism. That's not fascism.
No, it's not. No, it's not fascism. But it's weird. It's a weird. Anyway, continue what you were saying, and I agree with you. But I wanted to caveat
the ending here.
I know, and I wanted to just put that caveat in and ask you, Geoff, is Emma Vigeland a regular everyday person, or is she the co-host of the most popular show on?
She has a job in media, so she's a media figure, and that's what she's paid to do. So I'm not saying that you making a video about her is off limits. My point is that I don't think it's coming across in a helpful manner if your goal is to end fascism or to stop fascism.
I mean, it could just be seen as a critique, you know?
That's all it is,
but you know, this whole Nomiki thing seems more, and I might be wrong, but it seems more like a little of a petty, you know, split between DSA people and a split between the people that don't like DSA, are using that as a you know, a way to hammer away at some folks. So if zeroing in on Emma over this is really pointless. Honestly, like, I don't even like that whole race got so toxic to me that I just like have zoned completely out, especially since I can't really, like, I don't live there. I haven't spoken to Nomiki or anybody about it, and I've not, you know, I just kind of like want to let people support who they like, if they like the policies.
You know, it's weird. Last thing is that Nomiki was actually reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, because we posted a thing about cyber calling, the points of it from Timothy Snyder, and she was like, that's kind of what's happening to me online right now, and she said, can you share that? And then she shared it on her Instagram. But it's like, dude, I'm just saying, like, and you know, it's not, it's there's not a titular head of it, right? It's just something that she noticed was happening. And then of course the scary thing, as Jessica Aro pointed out in you know, in the book, what I've gotten through with it, is that she got afraid of leaving her house because she was investigating troll farms in Helsinki that were operating and had operatives in Helsinki that were following her and intimidating her. That shit's real, and it's scary.
That is.
All right, let's try to get to the end of this, because Geoff is late for the car. The car is waiting. You're keeping a working class individual waiting.
Yes. So, you know, basically, if you're worried about troll farms or whatever, I mean, back to Nomiki and that race, that nobody there, you know, can control every person who supports them. And I've even seen that even with the person you hate the most right now, Tim Canova. There were people on his campaign he can't control. I witnessed what they were doing. He can't stop them or be on top of them at every moment.
Absolutely.
And like the same thing goes with Kristen Gonzalez, who I honestly don't know much about. I'll be honest, I don't know. The first time I ever heard of her was when I saw her with AOC in some post, and that was the first time I've ever heard of her. Best of luck to her. Best of luck to her if she can win and get the support in the community and they want to vote for her. Best of luck. I would definitely support her over Crowley. If Nomiki ends up winning, I'd obviously want to win over the Republican, whoever that may be. But and I'd support either Nomiki or Kristen. I mean, I don't really think we should all be going into like a bloodbath over this, but I'm not going to go back into all that stuff. But bottom line is, I just think everybody needs to chill. Everyone needs to stop attacking each other. Talk about the issues. Call out when you do see fascism. Call out when you do see someone like Brianna Joy Gray applauding, Marjorie Taylor Greene for being right about the FBI. By the way, Brianna Joy Gray, whatever her name is, literally has never once tweeted or made any comments about the FBI being bad. In fact, I've only found one tweet where she supports an FBI investigation.
She's full fascist. She's full fascist.
Yeah, I think most people online should just like get into DMs more and do one-on-one talks instead of doing like dunk
in
quote
a group.
Tweet 69. Everyone look at my cool dunk. Yep. And we need to shift the urgency to things that matter, such as the Uber driver waiting in wherever to pick you up for your dinner extravaganza.
Yes. Thank you, Geoff.
And luckily, it's a 5-minute around the corner spot, so
nice.
I'll be okay. But happy to have been here. Happy to have had a conversation that I hope was somewhat productive.
Yeah,
it did get. It got heated at some moments, but hopefully we've understand each other a little bit better now.
I definitely do, and I appreciate it. And I'm sorry that it did get heated, but you're
I have no connection to Russia other than that my, great-great-grandfather there escaped and had to bring our whole family out of there and literally escaped with their lives. Other than that, I've got no connection to Russia. So
well, you just admitted
that with my final statement.
I think we can take that evidence and we can run to the courts for that one. So,
and Geoff, I would just like to say before you go that I really do. I have learned from my past and mistakes that I've made. Like, I don't know. How many do you want me to admit? Like,
no, you're good.
Okay. But like my Nader vote, right? Like I look back at that and go, it's not, and I got a lot of friends to do, I was in Seattle, it didn't matter, but it's like I feel bad.
Yep.
And I've learned from that, and I'm just saying, like,
and try to see other people in those same shoes that maybe
absolutely
that are younger, that are maybe your age when you did that.
And absolutely, and I do that with you too, and I do forgive. Like, I all I'm saying, bro, is that your future actions, like really cheering on the hatred of Kamala, who might be. All I'm saying is don't not criticize Kamala. Obviously, I just think it's really dangerous with the looming fascism that is very, very real, and you know it, and I know it, and everything. We have to be really fucking careful about how, and Andrea, I think this goes for you too. I mean, I know you get frustrated and you're hilarious, and so you are sarcastic and shit too, but like, we really have to be careful, and I think that's what we should see, especially since 2020, like with what's become of Brianna Joy Gray, who we all had great hope for, and what's become of Nina Turner not speaking out against Jimmy Dore until now, and Cornel West still hasn't, and and the last thing Cornel West said of Jimmy Dore was just, you're one of the greatest, same thing with Joe Rogan.
It's upsetting.
I
said that is upsetting.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he kind of stays out of it. Like,
I know, bro. I know, but it's and here's the thing that I would say.
Jimmy still like profits off of that. That's the big
yes!
thing that he.
Yes.
Yes.
Take his name off of the People's Party, or I don't know if it has been, but the last I saw, it was somehow still being promoted. I would honestly, I saw him come out. I think it was against, I forgot who it was, one of these stupid other troll accounts, smaller accounts, and he actually, or maybe it was his wife, somebody tweeted that they don't agree with what one of these trolls was saying. So he has pushed back on some of these little, but I would rather if it be someone big like Jimmy.
I mean, but it's not.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that.
But here's the thing, Geoff. Just 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, Nina Turner posted a win. She was like happy to be in that good company, and it was a post where it included Rose McGowan, Katie Halper, Crystal Ball, Susan Sarandon, and it's like, okay, you're saying you're in good company. You're happy to be part of that crew that has been retweeting Medhurst, retweeting Greenwald, praising Greenwald, praising, all that shit. And it's like, no, Nina, come on, come on,
But the truth, and I will, this is the last thing I'll talk about, and it is a little bit of a personal story, but basically, I spoke to Nina personally when she came to Miami 2 times, and I talked to her a little bit about the activity of some of these individuals, and she doesn't know about all the little nuanced stuff that we all know about. And then, like, when I told her about it, she was like, oh my, and then I showed her some tweets. She was like, this is horrible. These people are trash. But I can't talk to Nina Turner every day. I can't be informing her. I can't, I'm not good. I'm not such friends with her that I can just be imposing upon her every little.
Yeah, we just we need to have like a critical mass that's in their ear to tell them that this is not a good thing. And if we all work together, we could possibly do that.
That's what I want, Andrea. That's what I want. Hey, Geoff.
Oh, shit.
Jeff.
Did I win?
Jeff. Now playing my video, right, where I put Emma and Sam's head, and I put Ben Dixon and Nomiki's head on the Bee Gees, and I put and Casey and the Sunshine Band. The backup singers were Nina Turner and Joy Reid together. And it's like left liberal coalition, right? Like, let's put away you did that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I'll do it too, man. I'll stop.
So this is how we do that. But how do you get some people like Kenny from K-Hive to stop? They're not going to because they're paid to do this.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But hold on, Andrea, hold on. I did listen, and I was cringed out by him too. I listened to him on a call-in. I sent it to you, Andrea. I don't know if you listened to it, but it wasn't as bad as. And Geoff, I was viscerally angry at how he was trashing AOC and all that shit. In those original
like literally
videos.
Spitting at the mouth where he's screaming about her and doing all his
I know.
stuff.
But you know what, dude? It was different.
Bad.
It was different in the way that you were different from those Tim Black videos, transphobe fucking asshole Tim Black, like Seth Rich conspiracist, right? In 2017. It was the difference between how you're there with him kind of cheering on this fucking WikiLeaks, fuck Hillary, and then the interview I saw with you in 2021, like both on the red whatever, and the other one with that guy, the climate guy, and you were like, dude, we need to fucking build coalitions. And I was like, wow, that is a different Geoff. Like, you were like, we had a lot of, and you were even saying, even people that liked Bloomberg, even though they're cringe, we got to bring them in. That's what I want to do. I agree. That's what I want to do.
This will literally be my last thing because I do have to go. I am not someone who thinks you shouldn't try to bring libs or centrists or whatever you want to call them. I think you should try to work with them against fascism. I think you should try to educate. I don't think you should attack innocent or good-meaning or well-intentioned people. I think they all, including Bloomberg supporters, a lot of people are living their daily lives with a job.
Crossing the line at Bloomberg. Oh no,
Andrea.
no.
I'm not a Bloomberg fan, but their supporters don't know. They don't know. They're watching TV. They only watch TV in commercials or like some little segment on MSNBC or CNN. They don't know the whole facts, so you can't really, judge them for not being aware of everything.
My brother is one of them, and he's not. He wants Medicare for all. Okay,
your brother is a fucking piece of. No, just kidding.
But no, trust me, guys. I was hounding that motherfucker like, you moron. How dare you vote for? I didn't call him that, but I was like, you can't, dude. What are you doing? He was in California, and it was like, you're voting for what? Huh? And then of course it all fell apart. And then since then it's been very tragic because he doesn't ever want to talk about politics. And it's like he has 2 daughters, and it's like, okay, well. I guess we just won't talk about the fact that Roe is overturned for your precious children, and we'll just make more money. But that's what they're like, and he's a lib, but he's not the enemy. But he does know that he does realize the threat. He just doesn't want to see it because he's a normal person.
So let's do this.
So,
let's work at waking up people that don't see. And also just work on the delivery of the message and stop antagonizing or being upset with people for their past, or if they don't like whoever they don't like on mainstream news channels. That's not as big as important. The people who are watching, there's still a huge audience that's watching and they're getting through to, but you don't have to be mad if people online don't care to watch it. I
love that, Geoff, but the only thing is, mainstream media isn't the enemy. Mainstream media isn't the enemy. Mainstream media isn't the enemy. Just because it's corporate doesn't mean it's evil. There are some, Disney is better than DeSantis, right? Like, there's some corporate shit that's good, and MSNBC, the programming that you see on MSNBC every day now, would not have been imaginable 10 years ago, as
True,
to far,
but it has
far
gone
left they've gone. So, anyway.
Lastly, I will say, I wish nobody bad will on here. I wish you, and I apologize if I ever did come off with some, cursing or any of that, and I apologize for calling you a moron earlier on this stream.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wish you the best. We can continue maybe on another live stream some other time.
Geoff, come on our stream and tell Justin to wake the fuck up.
I'll tell Justin to I'll be like, wake up.
You're totally invited. This was actually turned out way better than I thought.
Let me get this straight. Am I not invited? What?
You have to come in.
Did I just get leapfrogged here? What the hell?
Damn, sorry about that. All right. Much love to both of you. I'm gonna go eat sushi, and I will.
Dude, that stuff's, is it real fish?
I still do eat fish. I do not eat any mammals for
that's okay.
everybody. I don't know if anyone knows that, but they can tweet about that if they want to. I don't eat mammals.
That's good.
Okay.
Yay! Okay.
Peace and love.
Okay.
All right, peace and love. Well, that was amazing, Andrea. I don't know what the fuck happened. I thought we were going. I
gotta reformat the stream. Hold the phone before you do your like jumping up and down stuff.
Okay. Do you have like confetti, green screen stuff that I can throw up?
No, I don't. I have nothing. I'm an amateur, and I have nothing. All right, so Geoff had to go, and now we enter the part where we shit talk that motherfucker. Yeah, fuck Geoff. Can I get a fuck Geoff in chat? Geoff, more like fucking. I don't know, but yeah.
I think my enemies that were in your last chat, if they're watching, no names. I won't mention names. I think they're not going to be like. They're not going to like how this turned out because they don't want Geoff and I to find...
There's going to be people that are going to continue to think you're garbage, and they'll probably talk about that. And as someone that has people talk about me constantly all the time without my permission, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Let me tell you this. I saw... Because, you know, I have my fake... Or my... account where I spy on everyone talking shit about me and
whoa!
My video is getting
breaking news. Report Disco Brian as a fake bot account confirmed. Where are the Russians on this? More at 11. All right.
So, like Scarlet Red's video of my Emma thing, it just sucks because it's like 10,000. You know, it's been seen 10,000 times. It's been liked 280 something times, and it's like, I made it. I can't defend myself. Like, I can't explain anything about why I made it, and it's just Brian wants to wear.
That happens to me all the time. I feel you, and it sucks. And you just gotta write them off, right? Because you're not gonna appeal to them anyway. It's not gonna work. So it's not the base. It's not the pool you're swimming in or whatever the fuck. My dog is licking me, so I gotta take him out at some point in the near future.
But I've gotta I want to do like you know, I just hope that this results in Jessica Aro agreeing to come on our stream.
I'll tweet at her with this video, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
But anyway, I gotta go because this was longer than I expected. So
like every time I come on, Disco Ball, do you want to say goodbye to Andrea?
There's more. Okay.
She's in the other room.
All right, she's gonna stay there. Is there like a chain like dripping from your? Look at this. Hold up.
Fuck! That is a the goddamn thing. When you gotta move that?
There's like a chain. Does anyone see this?
Andrea, last time I came on your show, I got to have a green screen, but I was fucking. You want to say hi? You want to say hi, goodbye? Just say goodbye. Come say goodbye.
Get the video on.
Look at my amazing human wife, friend.
I was like fighting people in the fucking...
is Jewish,
She was fighting people in the chat room. She was fighting people in the chat room.
I believe, like, if I could be incorrect, but she may have funded the stream at some point.
I don't have my headphones on. The headphones.
No, honey, here, put these headphones on again and say hi to Andrea. Just say goodbye. She's got to walk the dog.
Hi, bye.
Thank you for participating in my show that I am profiting off of. Can I just get a quick consent that you consent for your appearance to be monetized by me and only me?
All right. Fine. Sure, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. But also, you know, I appreciated your chat, and, you know, that was great.
No, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Andrea. That really needed to happen, desperately.
I know. I try my best to facilitate these things.
Yeah.
And everybody, please like and subscribe to our channel, Getting Down with Disco and Brian, and our new streaming channel. Which
I will
be
link
in the
your
comments.
Twitter in the chat, and they can go from there.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too. I need to eat as well. Good night.
Peace. Okay. Wow, that was fun.
Holy Macintosh. Holy Macintosh.
coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get the sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy North will go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote. We can talk about Jimmy North will go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
Here's the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.